Hello everybody and welcome to Chaotic Neutral Games. Today we are playing Android Shadow of the Beanstalk in a short adventure I'm putting in as a space holder before we start our new game, Mage the Ascension, that's going to be DM'd by Dave. This adventure should take between about 3 or 4 sessions, and it's called 24 Hours in New Angeles. So at the moment, even though the Star Wars Genesys game has been lifeboated by a UK company, unfortunately, certain other franchises like Android Shadow of the Beanstalk pretty much stopped at the core book. However, it's a lovely setting and I think it's well worth playing. So I'm going to be running an adventure today, and I've got a couple of follow-on adventures as well. I've been meaning to get my cyberpunk on for some while, and this is the first start of me scratching that particular itch. There's no intro to this because it's a short shot. Our short shots and one shots will not have any title intros. Because we are intending to bash them out this year. So we're just going to go straight into talking to the players and introduce both them and their characters. So let's go in. And it seems to have screwed up already. Wow. That's
a new record.
That's interesting. That's it. Everybody was in the right place previously. Just going to have to do a little bit of internet magic. There we go. We're all in the right place now. Thankfully, it was an easy fix. So,
right.
Many of the people who are on screen right now should not be. They shouldn't be a stranger to us all. We've got 2 of our original chaotics, and we've got Paul and Scorn. But for anybody who is watching this for the first time, because hey, we might have some people who are coming in just because they see that it's Android Universe. We're going to go through it, and we're going to go through it in the traditional format, which I must admit we don't do all that often because, well, normally we're at episode 100 and whatever. So, I'll start. My name is Simon. Will be the storyteller for this adventure. I use he/him pronouns, and I will be playing pretty much anyone that they aren't. Let's go to Felicia.
Hello. I'm playing Air, or Dr. Bunny, as you will find out they are called. They, them pronoun.
And Paul.
I'm playing Lorenzo, a human investigator.
Okay. And Rodrigo.
Hey, I'm Rodrigo. I'll be playing Piper, hacker extraordinaire, or at least that's what they think.
Yep.
They, them pronouns.
Okay. And Scorn.
I'm going to play Lord Fogo. He is the lead guitarist of Special Beam Gannons.
Special Beam Gammons, yeah?
Ganon.
Ganon.
From Legend of Zelda.
Oh, great. Okay, cool. So, we have got, as I say, 2 original chaotics. We've got a viewer in Scorn, and we have got Paul, who has both been a DM and a player before. This is going to be using the Genesys system. Yes, we are there again. I love the Genesys system. What can I say?
Yeah.
It fits a lot of my stories. It fits a lot of the scenarios I want to do. And also, it does also give us permission to screw over our own characters. This is very much a co-storytelling game. So, for anybody who doesn't know, we're going to be rolling dice with symbols on them rather than numbers. Some of the symbols are good. Some of the symbols are bad. Most of the good symbols cancel out the bad symbols. So you want more of the good stuff and less of the bad stuff. However, there's a bunch of different symbols, which we will talk about as we go along. There are successes and failures. They cancel each other out for a net success or not success. So if it's even Stevens, it's a failure. You need at least one success to succeed in the intended action. Then you've got advantages and disadvantages. These are things that happen around the side. Now, there are some official things that happen with your guns and your hacking programs and things like that. In fact, Rodrigo has a very cool program that triggers off advantages. And other times, we just decide amongst ourselves. If there's net threats, which is the opposite of disadvantages, that's where we decide that there's a new challenge that's been brought into the story. It doesn't have to be that much. A single threat is a minor setback. Maybe this person just doesn't like you as much, or maybe you've just had a bit of wear and tear on something, or maybe it was just a little more strenuous. The more you get, the more that we are compelled to start putting your characters through the ringer. And it's not just me that can do it, it's the players as well. The players can suggest, oh, I know, I have a great thing that will screw over my character, and they can make that decision themselves. Then finally, on the red dice, which is the very bad dice, and the yellow dice, which is the very good dice, you've got two particular symbols that can never be cancelled out, which is very interesting because you can have both symbols at the same time and have to decide what they do. There's the triumph symbol. The triumph symbol is the best thing that can happen as a side effect of the thing that you were doing. Then there's the despair, the very worst thing that could have happened as a side effect of what you're doing. These can completely change the game. They can change the story to a certain extent, and those are the things that will suddenly just pull us in a sharp U-turn and suddenly change the status quo. I will suggest things if the players aren't able to, but for the most part, I like to empower the players to be able to choose both the good and the bad that's happening. It's only when the NPCs are going to start to join in and things like that I will start cashing in on some of those for myself. Mostly for Genesys, these guys have all played Genesys kind of before, or at least they've watched a lot of it, and we will be explaining certain things as we go along, but it's a toolbox system. It means that you basically just use it as an enabler to tell the story. If the rules get in the way of the story, we just keep going with the story we want to tell anyway. So we try not to take it too seriously. So there's no kind of strokey beard rule manipulation in this.
This is not Pathfinder.
It's not Pathfinder. It really isn't, no. Although Pathfinder's okay. So let's get started. You guys are living in New Angeles. New Angeles is a gigantic city that's in Ecuador. And it is now quintessentially the capital of the world in this cyberpunk setting. I'm going to switch to back to my starting soon screen and show a few pictures for the guys at home as I talk about this. So, New Angeles is huge. It takes up most of the Ecuadorian coastline. And the reason why it's famous is that to the north, it's not actually on the map that I'm showing, this is the map that we'll mostly be using today, but towards the north of this huge, drawn-out city is a thing called the Beanstalk, hence Shadow of the Beanstalk. The Beanstalk connects the Earth and the Moon. Every day, people go up and down this Beanstalk, either sending things up to the Moon or bringing things back, and it's a major part of commerce, and also it allows for anything that's being harvested in space to be brought safely down to Earth without having to do the whole takeoff and landing thing, which would take a lot of fuel and be very dangerous. The city itself changes from day to night. In daytime, it's a harsh, grey clockwork city. Everything is part of the concrete jungle. It carries an efficiency that's inhuman about it, and you very much feel like another cog in the machine. Day to day, you know where you need to go, what you need to do, and employment to a certain extent is not a problem. You can get a job. It's getting a good job that counts. Unfortunately, things like zero-hour contracts and all the rest of it are part of the course here. In fact, some people thrive off just jumping from job to job to job and going for the highest bidder. And they consider it a free market. Other people don't like it so much. Nighttime, however. Nighttime, the city turns into a vibrant neon landscape. You duck in and out of streets where individuality and fad and fashion is rife. In one sense, there's a lot of freedom. As I say, a lot of individuality. You'll see people who are genetically modified, cybernetically modified. You will see people dressed in all sorts of different types of clothing with all different types of appearances and identities. In that sense, it's fantastic. However, it is predominantly human-led, which means fad and fashion has an edge to it. There's jealousy, there's passion, and all the things that come with it. More than a few people have been shot, or worse, because they had managed to somehow out-fashionista the fashionistas. Also, underground crime is rife here. part of the particular freedoms that they have is that everybody is carrying some form of weapon. A hobo that you end up tripping over in the street might suddenly pull out a gun that can vaporize you in a single shot. And it could be that this is some high-ranking corporate exec that's just been on a drug bender for a couple of days because they're taking a couple of days off. You never underestimate the dangers of the city. Everybody's armoured, everybody's armed, and everybody's ready. However, you have all made it. Congratulations. You live in the stacks. The stacks is what separates the ground from the sky. You're not at the top of the stacks, what they call the 10%. That means the top 10% of the buildings, most sought after places that can see the sun as it sets. You are in reasonable homes. You all have jobs. Fantastic. Some of you are self-employed, free agents with a good background. Others have employment in institutions. And day in, day out, you manage to make ends meet and you live a comfortable life. The stack that you live in, you've lived in all your lives. Why rock the boat? The people around you trust you, you trust them, so that when one of the apartments in the stack became free, they told you first and you jumped straight in there. You all live a couple of corridors away from each other, and you know pretty much everybody else around you. This is how it works. Territory is a big thing in the city. If somebody has turned around and entered your territory and they're spoiling the basket, well, you and the other good eggs will chuck the bad egg out. It seems to work, but it means that everything is based on territory. Where there's territory, there's gangs, organizations, associations, and other such things that end up becoming the norm. This goes all the way up to corporate level. The corporations rule all. National boundaries now are less of a thing, more a historical contrivance than any form of noticeable power. There's a global police force, Global Sec. There's a pretty much national news service, NBN. Then there are other things that have become day-to-day in the cyberpunk world that's just super important. And because it's super important, it's made the Associated Corporation rise. One of them is Jinteki. They're responsible for Felicia's character. A Gmod that has got bestial elements that allow her to have certain advantages over other people. You know a lot of people who have got cybernetic implants. Some of them, they're subtle, maybe just a port at the back of the neck so that they can just be that little bit better at hacking. Others show it loud and proud as they have replaced arms from military service, or they've ended up just replacing parts of their body due to fad, fashion, or function. Then you've got the clones. Eerily perfect humanoids that walk among you. For the most part, you've seen that they're quite amicable people. But they are raised with a single function, something that they are absolutely wonderful at. They are also clean. I mean, you all keep yourself clean to a certain degree. You have your fashion, your fixture. But there's just something about how the hairline is so perfect, how symmetrical the face is. Most importantly, how they all look the same for each model. This has caused a lot of tension within both the city and the world at large. There are some people who embrace the clones and the bioroids, their mechanical counterparts, machines that have become so sophisticated that they, for many people, are alive. You live in such a place. You live in Golem's Grove. Golem's Grove is towards the bottom of the map, and I will just bring that up briefly again. Golem's Grove is at the bottom of the map that I sent you, in the Quinder district. It is where all of the bioroids are made. And as far as you're concerned, a bioroid walking along is a day-to-day sight. No different to usual. Some of your friends are bioroids. Some of them seem to be completely autonomous. They don't seem owned by anyone. And they just get on with the work that they do, the life that they have. Similarly, nearby you have a place called the Meat Market. That's where Genteki do some of their modifications, let's say, but not the cleanest ones. This is basically the industrial zones of Harsbioid, which are the industrial mechanical people, and then Genteki, who are the biotechnologists. However, the HQs of those particular places are nowhere near there. In fact, Genteki Biotech is at the top of the map over in the Nihon-ai district, and the Harsbioid is in the Manta district, on a place that's called the Strip, a very popular and very well-to-do part of the city where people live in great luxury. Harsbioid is an important thing for you because you live in Golem Grove. Most of you guys have worked for Harsbioid before, and also the local enforcers, so kind of like a sanctioned street gang, a corporate-backed street gang, make sure that a certain faction called Human First don't cause too much trouble. Human First don't like bioroids. They believe that they're abominations, they will not acknowledge that they're alive, and most importantly, they don't like the fact that the bioroids are taking all their jobs, according to them. And so they will do what they can to trash as many bioroids as they can. There's a very strange place in Golem Grove, which is where they make all of the bioroids. You can hear, if you get close enough, that when a new batch of bioroids are being loaded onto the trucks, the operators have a habit of singing happy birthday to the bioroids, and in an eerie scene, the bioroids tend to sing along. However, above this strange but somewhat pleasant scene, there are turrets that fire rubber bullets, just in case a bunch of Human First try to come along and take out the latest batch. This is day to day for you. Mostly the areas around you are high on the tech scale. So even small local businesses have got a lot of technology. So for Rodrigo's runner, this has been very useful. You're able to get hold of a large amount of spare parts and upgrades and things like that. This is the place in the city to do it. Golem Grove is perfect for a runner to get all the extra odds and sods that you might need. It's also been fantastic for Paul's character Lorenzo as a fixer, because a lot of the deals that are made, instead of made in, for example, organs that need to be kept on ice, it's normally just a chip here, some data there, maybe a high sports model servo for your latest model. Simple things.
They're what the people want.
Exactly. And you've been in that for pretty much your entire life. You've gone elsewhere in the city to enjoy the nightlife, to do various jobs and things like that. But for the most part, this is home. This is where you can relax a bit. It's 3 a.m. You're all friends who grew up, as I say, in a predominantly Harsbioid controlled area of the city. You spent your earlier years cultivating your skills in relative safety, as I've mentioned, and I've also mentioned the human activist group, Human First, keeps a low profile around here. And you've probably seen off a few yourself because you know that they're probably just going to try to trash your friends' businesses and things like that. All the local gangs are in the pocket of Harsbioid, giving them a solid presence in the city, but particularly in this area. However, the city as a whole is controlled by the Wayland Corporation, as seen by the giant Beanstalk, as I say, that goes up to the moon. When you were growing up, one of your friends, Lucinda Mayo, Lucy to you, made it big years ago by scoring a job as a liaison officer for HB. I'll usually use HB instead of Harsbioid. Since then, you've seen her sporadically, but the friendship hasn't faded. She always seems happy to see you, always buy more than her fair share of the drinks, and even donates to her old community. So she finds contracts and buys things off people or hires local labour. She hasn't forgotten her roots. She's a good egg. The group call to you all at 3 a.m. from Lucy comes as no surprise. She works and plays at all hours, and so a kind of early wake-up call isn't unusual for her. Your various pads and screens flicker into life with holograms of a head and shoulders shot of your friend, and artificial hands doing her hair and her makeup. Hey gang, I have a favour to ask of you. You're all capable people and, well, to tell you the truth, the only ones I can trust. I need you to investigate a murder. My murder. The camera pans out and the rest of Lucy's body is a bioroid body. Thankfully HB had my neural tape on file, so I'm still here. Well, in some form at least. I've been given 48 hours to investigate my death before this version of me gets given its terms of service and set back to work. I'll investigate my corporate leads, but I need you to retrace my steps for the day prior to my death and feed the information to me as you get it. I still have access to my living budget, so I can pay you well. Will you take the job? Before you answer, I would like, because it's a great way to know a character, I would like to know the bedhead scene of the people who are currently getting out of bed and what are they getting dressed into and all the rest of it. So I'll go around clockwise. Felicia, I assume a pair of blue ears come out from the duvet. You're muted, by the way. You're muted, Felicia.
They have not gone to bed yet.
Okay.
Because they sleep, they do day shifts at the hospital, and then they do night shifts, helping out in the community.
Yep.
So they sleep in between times. So more than likely, you've just caught them as they come back from doing a job.
Like an ER junior house officer, you sleep when you can, and it just peppers throughout the day.
I like the idea that they just coming home, get the they sigh a sigh of relief, finally home, finally some rest. They get the message, and they just immediately walk out. Walk in, get the message, walk out.
Yeah, grab the clinic kit and out you go.
Pick up the lab coat again. Back to work it is.
So, thankfully, because you're our stream artist, you were able to put together a lovely picture of your character, which is in your frame.
Yes.
So we've got kind of combats and a nice, comfortable, warm top and a lab coat, and then you've got your medical supplies and you've got a filter mask on as well. So your day shift, as you say, is working for the hospitals, doing what comes up on your pad.
Yep.
And the night shifts for you are people in the community who would rather not go to the hospital for quasi-legal reasons.
Yep.
So,
more often than not, it is Lorenzo who hooks up the contracts.
The injured party.
Because between having an actual job and doing this, there's no way I'd have time to sleep if I did that. This is why we have fixers,
Exactly. That's why fixers exist. That Lorenzo would probably get a call, kind of going, "We've got a problem." Jacko's been shot in the leg with a laser pistol, and took a laser to the knee, so
again.
Jacko is a good earner for me.
And so Lorenzo would just be like, yeah, sure, I'll get hold of her, kind of thing. And the price would be negotiated by Lorenzo, because, the medic never talks price, yeah? You argue over price, you get shot over price. Lorenzo knows how to not get shot. You just get turned up, you do the job, and you're like, hey, it's just a contract, it's business. The gangs respect that, business is business. You keep your anonymity, they keep their anonymity, life is good. Although... Yeah. It's great to say you keep your anonymity when you're the only person in the block with giant blue bunny ears, but it's a relative term.
It is in spirit.
Yeah.
It's like...
Maybe not in actuality, but in spirit.
Secret,
Exactly.
We got a good thing going on.
Yeah.
No one rocks the boat when they have a willing medic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say you're probably cleaning your tools. You've probably got a rad sterilizer, which is basically just an irradiating torch, and you're just there, just passing it over your tools. scalpels and things like that to just get it so that they are fully sterilized again. This what seems to be a recorded start of the message. At least it feels like that, but that might just be the new bioroid form that Lucy has. It's just a little too stiff. And as I say, I'm going to go clockwise. So, Paul, is Lorenzo asleep? And what is he? If he's not, what's he getting dressed into as this is going on?
Lorenzo is, I'm going to say, on the job right now, currently showing a wristy around one of the local clubs who wants to slum it down with the normies, basically.
Yep. Sure.
Basically, so he's just showing this guy down to so you want the second on the left, that's the place you'll want to go. And as the call comes in, actually, let's take a step back. So Lorenzo is sort of dressed in your cliche sort of PI Dick Tracy sort of outfit. He's got the fedora hat, the long trench coat.
Nice.
The critical difference being that Lorenzo's hat and trench coat are lit up like Times Square, basically. There are LED lights over the entire thing. But every so often the trench coat is normally fairly dark, but then just goes, buy Coke.
Yeah.
And you can see basically there's like a scrolling ad for like the detective agency going around the rim of the fedora basically while he's on the job. Yes. So Lorenzo is, like I say, a very visible individual, not trying to hide himself at all. Basically he's sends his client on the way. After receiving the message, basically just sort of gives a fairly give me a time and a place, I'll be there.
Yep. Fantastic. Scorn. 3 a.m. for a rocker boy. I'm guessing you're probably not asleep either.
No, it should be basically, even if he is asleep, it's the same thing. So say it's 3 a.m. Basically just crashing on a sofa after a gig, still drinking, thing. But even if they were asleep, you know that if you call them at 3 o'clock in the morning, they're still wearing their jeans, they're still wearing their shoes. Yeah. They've just, wherever they lay and then get up. Like, if it's like, oh, I have to change clothes, well, I have to do that with my 2-week shower. Every little while.
I washed my clothes and me at the same time. You just walked into the shower clothes, didn't you? Yep, that's what I did.
So they have permanent bedhead whenever you see them. It's like a sheep has a bedhead.
To be fair, the rocker boy requires bedhead. It's a badge of honor, isn't it? So yeah.
So you don't think they've had a proper sleep in weeks? It's just lay down, get up, lay down,
years.
Up. Yeah.
You just sit down for long periods. You don't actually sleep per se. Yeah.
They may have got wasted enough to have a good night's sleep once in a month.
And as you wake up, your hand immediately reaches down to to find that you haven't lost your baby. What's your baby?
There's basically a long, it's made of mostly metal and scrap, but it is a custom guitar covered in punk spikes. It has one serrated blade along one edge as a gimmick of just this long, basically crafted guitar. And it matches the outfit of just being a proper punky outfit covered in spikes. No sleeves, because why would sleeves exist?
Sleeves are bullshit. I love the fact that most punk rockers, they'll take the guitar and they'll break the guitar against the stage. If you do that, you end up breaking the stage because this thing is just a solid piece of metal with spikes coming out.
Yeah, it's got a whole blade on front. You could shatter something. You could basically cut through an entire table with a swing if you really wanted to.
All I'm imagining is the groupies in the crowd being hey, let's throw a vodka bottle at him mid-performance, and you just smash it in the air.
Yeah, just spin around and just cleave it in half. Living your best rocker boy life. So when your alarm goes off, you're just and then kind of check it out on your pad. Yeah, you're just there you're hoping this is vodka. It smells slightly of antifreeze, but hey, you've done antifreeze before. And you're watching the same message as the others. And then Rodrigo.
Right, so I think it comes as no surprise that Piper is not asleep either.
Damn it, I thought 3 a.m. I was like, you wake up to... No, you don't.
No. So I think I should first describe what their apartment looks like. I think they're the type of runner where their rig has just taken over, hostile takeover of the entire apartment. I'm talking like a serial, like if anyone has watched it, like some serial experiments lane type of stuff where like, like there's
Cables going everywhere,
cables.
monitors across every vertical surface.
Yeah, you open like you go to the kitchen and there's a 50-50 chance that the cupboard you're opening either has like a bunch of like glass and plates, or it has a bunch of like spare mechanical parts and like sticks of RAM, hard drives, that sort of thing.
Oh, don't worry, I'm used to that.
I opened your fridge and I found a server.
One of the kitchen cupboards at my dad's house houses spare motherboards.
Yeah. Right. So so we're talking about that. And Piper has been up all night trying to get a recent freelance contract they got done. They're just waiting for they're just waiting for the data to compile. They're just waiting for the code to compile, that sort of thing. Bioroid has just asked them to steal Gene Techie's dirty laundry again.
Mm-hmm.
That sort of or plant some damning information on some Humanity First person. For Piper, this is kind of like drudge work by this point.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
They're just sitting they're just squatting on their chair waiting for the progress bar to fill up, typing some stuff out, drinking maybe the remains of a can of beer, right? When the pad that's just off somewhere to the side just pops up the message.
Okay. So I kind of did a snapshot in time of that to see who this question was going to. She says, "Will you take the job?"
Eats this. Immediately puts the all that whatever this fucking supercomputer is into rest mode so that it completes the thing automatically, and then just grabs their jacket. I forgot why they're dressed. They're basically dressed in a kind of very urban type of wear. Tank top with a printed rib cage kind of thing, black tank top, rib cage. They wear a jacket. Side their hair is in that Erika Ishii style side shave, But
I'm a big fan of Erika, so yeah, that's gonna get my vote every time.
Yeah. Spike boots, But the most interesting fact about them is that they have got if you played the Cyberpunk games, they got shift tacks, contact lenses or a filament over their eyes that that so they can change their eye color to everything. But they have it on a setting where their eye color actually changes depending on the angle that you look at them. So it's kind of like an iridescent kind of thing where if you look at them from this way it's yellow, but if you look at it from that way it's green.
Nice.
That sort of thing.
Very nice.
Like it.
To be honest, my eyes kind of do that naturally because I've got the ring switch between green and brown eyes.
It's the antifreeze for you.
It's the crystals that build up in the retinas. Yep. So when you turn and say, "Yeah, I've got nothing better to do," she very deadpan says, "I'm so glad my death isn't going to inconvenience you for something better to do."
Of course, I want to look at your death.
I can pay well.
I'm just heading out already by this point.
Okay. She sends you her itinerary. Now, I've given you guys the player document, but I'll bring it up for the others as well. And I screwed that up.
I will basically just set down the stuff I was using to clean my kit and go grab the spare kit for when there's multiple jobs in a row.
It's the kit that has already been pre-cleaned, so this one's being cleaned.
It's
that one's already
pack, yeah. So the itinerary reads like this: midnight to 6 a.m. in bed with Meridian Silk. 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. gym at the Ironworks and breakfast with the Hooligans. 9 a.m. to 12 a.m. meetings and inspections with the logistics division in Banner's Yard. 12 till 1 tactical lunch with Bunny Harvard 3 till 5, check-in with Harsborough. I don't put it as Hans, it's Harsborough. 15 to 15:30, tech service by Jimmy Rip. 15:30 to 4 o'clock, pick up sweeteners at Euphoria. 4 o'clock till 8 o'clock, office time at the atrium. 8 o'clock till 9 o'clock, dinner for one at the Spire View. And 9 o'clock to 11 o'clock, formal mixer at the MBN Paragon Club. Then from midnight onwards, get wrecked at the Deep Corners Club, better known as the DC. Now, you know things about this already, the things that have been mentioned. But I may as well get your questions first before I give you a few pointers. Is there anything there that jumps out that you would like to ask if you know? In some cases, it will require a roll.
Well, one thing I'm going to say to everyone else, I've put like headers immediately beneath the itinerary. I put headers so we can put notes down there because notes, yo. But there we go.
We don't have Ed to do this for us this time.
I know. Someone's got stuff up.
You guys got to use the doc yourself, yeah.
I mean, the broad question is, do any of those? Yeah, I mean, let's start with the very broad one. Do any of those names immediately ping as recognizable? He's just for like only these big names. Let's go with that.
Okay, I'll go through the ones that pretty much everybody knows first. The Ironworks, you know, is a gym. It's a franchise gym. They are all over New Angeles, and the one that she specified when you look at it is one that's in the Manta district near where she lives. She lives in the Harsborough arcology, so she's got a lovely apartment. But it's well in the north of the city compared to you. Breakfast with the Hooligans. Yep, you know the Hooligans. They have territory nearby. They're a street gang. They are ironically named because they're not actually hooligans. They are enforcers that actually stop people breaking Harsborough property and assets. So they've been hired by Harsborough to keep other gangs out of the area. So at least then they're in the pocket. So they're actually enforcers rather than crime gangs. Kind of a protection racket, but a protection racket was formed by a corp, but then is completely distant from them. And you've got Banner's Yard, you know that well. Banner's Yard is a huge logistics yard that's in New Angeles. It's a little further away. It's it's kind of between where you are now and the they're anti-hooligans. As I say, they're kind of ironically named. Banner's Yard is kind of halfway between you and the Manta district, so it's halfway to where Lucy lives anyway. And yes, Harsborough do a ton of stuff there, so that's important. Bunny Harvard, you haven't got a clue who that is, presumably a co-worker. Check in with Harsborough, you know she worked for them. Jimmy Rip, you know well, he's actually a local. Jimmy Rip is the local cyberdoc. He will sort out, he's worked with Felicia before, so he's worked with Air. And basically she will sort all the meat bits out and get that healed up, and he'll repair any of the cyber limb stuff. If somebody has, for example, had a limb hacked off, normally the cheapest way to replace that limb is cyberware rather than getting bespoke wetware. So normally...
But you still gotta hook up all the nerves.
Yep. You've still got to hook it all up. So between you and him, you've done a lot of work with Jimmy before, and he's a good guy. You know, he's built a reputation for fairness, and that's kept him in business and alive. Sweetness at Euphoria. Oof, that one you're not quite sure of. That's going to be a knowledge society role for somebody. The Atrium. Now, the Atrium you do know. That's that's kind of famous. It's a kind of like a hot desk office that's in a beautiful surroundings. And again, it's in the Manta district. It's in a place called the Strip, which on the map that I sent you, you'll be able to see the Strip is in the Manta district. It's this beautiful kind of slate building with glass all over it, and inside you can see that there's little waterfalls, water features, and exotic plants and things like that. But dotted in amongst that are people on the equivalent of pads and laptops and things like that. It's an inspiring place to work, a place of calm. It's Office Plus, you know, it's open plan Office Plus, and you can rent it by the hour. Dinner for one at the Spire View. The Spire View, that's going to require a society role as well. Formal mixer at the NBN Paragon Club. You know the Paragon Club because it's been on all the news. The Paragon Club is the place where all the celebrities rub shoulders, politicians, high-ranking corp members, all of that lot. So Scorn...
But it's MBN, you.
Yeah, it's NBN. Oh, yes, of course it's NBN, because, it isn't news unless it's NBN.
Yeah, that's true.
So Folgo, you have been here. You've been kicked out of here several times. You find your way back in. Sometimes you're not entirely sure how, but you find your way back in.
It's that meme of like Moe from The Simpsons throwing Barney out, and then he's just standing there, and Barney shows up behind him again.
And they just love me there. They don't realize it.
Well, that's the thing, is that NBN report the news. That's what they do. They report the news, and that is the news, because it's NBN.
How did they find out about the news? Don't ask questions.
They don't care what the news is. They just care that they're in control of it. So if all of a sudden Lord Folgo, I need to stop and not put the second L in, ends up trashing an event with his fans, NBN don't care as long as they have the scoop. Yeah? It could be that you trashed a subsidiary of theirs property, but they don't care as long as it made good news. As long as it had the ratings, they don't care.
Yeah, sounds like a news station, all right.
Yep. It always reminds me of that that I can't remember the one who sung it, but there's a song that's called "Do Bad Well." If you can't do good, then better do bad well. And I was just like, yep, that's Rocker Boy right there. And then the Deep Corners Club, I'm going to give you guys for free because you've drunk there a lot. The Deep Corners Club is a place where, the phrase, what goes on in Vegas stays in Vegas, that's true of the Deep Corners Club as well. It's kind of a flexible place. You can go there to indulge. In other words,
after work, go pick up the others from there and drag them home before they get alcohol poisoning.
Yeah, sex, drugs, rock and roll. You could end up watching a politician snorting coke off somebody's tit, and it happened in the Deep Corners Club.
Hey, is that Frank?
Didn't happen, man. Deep Corners Club.
Wow, he's only doing 2 lines instead of 3 tonight. That's
he's cutting
weird.
down, yeah. The Deep Corners is a place where you can just go and be yourself without ramification. There is a general understanding by all the clientele there that you do not tell. In fact, it's such a part of the product of the place that anyone who does snitch will be hunted down by the owners of the Deep Corners Club. Yeah?
So what you're telling me is that it's not Wayland that rules things out around here. It's the Deep Corners Club.
The Deep Corners Club rules the Deep Corners Club. Absolutely.
No, that's fair.
The number of high court judges, politicians,
what happens
corpos,
in the club stays in the club.
Yeah.
Snitches get stitches.
Yeah.
I just like the idea of like the massive mega corporation like bowing down to the bar owner. That's a really funny image to me.
Well, there'll be some high-ranking members of the board who may have done things in there that understand why the Deep Corners Club exists.
A clown gangbang is going to pay off one day.
Jeez, I haven't got the honking out of my nightmares in weeks.
And canon was created. So yeah, that's the Deep Corners Club, and yeah, basically she gets wrecked there. Whatever happens, and Lucy always was a play hard, work hard kind of girl. None of this here surprises any of you. You can see pretty much everything that she's doing there either is making connections, doing work, or blowing off steam in the craziest way possible.
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to wait until we were done with the itinerary to ask it. Do we know if she had because she visited what's it called again? Jimmy Rip, right? Do we know if she has any cyberware, any modifications at all?
Yeah, so when she first started, she did have some cyberware. Since she got more money, she made the cyberware more subtle.
Right.
So she smashed her arm well, I say she smashed her arm. She had her arm smashed
Ow.
in a negotiation because she is a street liaison. She goes into places and basically makes deals. She finds the Mr. Johnsons. She was very much like Lorenzo in that regard, but she was always more tethered to the corpse, whereas Lorenzo was more of a lone wolf. In one of these negotiations, she had the shit smashed out of her arm. She wasn't a member of Hasboroid at that point, so she got whatever she could, what she could afford. She made it as stylish as possible, and Jimmy hooked her up. Since then, she had it was her right arm. She had her right arm remade, and to the point where the two look almost identical. And she even stylized it with some of the nice kind of silver veins and things like that to say, yeah, sure, it's cyberware, but it's fashionable. And she's had other small things over the years as well. She had an implant put in her head to help her with her lack of sleep and to stop the headaches that she was getting. So she's got certain neural blockers. She also ended up getting enhanced hearing as well, which again you can't see from the outside, but is basically replaced all the cilia on the inside of her ear to the point where she can hear ridiculously well. But if any loud noises happen, it has a noise cancelling effect as well.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, so-
Otherwise, how the fuck would she be able to be in the deep corners?
Exactly. Yeah. But she's also been able to claim that with her cilia implants, she can actually filter things out like music and other such things, and only hear what she wants to hear if she concentrates on it. So that suggests serious money. Serious money was applied. So yeah, she doesn't look like a cyborg, but technically speaking, according to the core book, Lucy was a cyborg.
All right. Gotcha. All right. So are we meeting up somewhere, or are we like, what's the deal
Well,
here?
we were gonna retrace her steps, is what she
Right.
wanted us to do. So I would say meet at her apartment, because that's where the day starts.
All right. Yeah, that sounds good to me.
Actually, when you look at her itinerary, the in bed with Meridian Silk is not at her apartment, but there is an
Oh.
address.
Well then,
Well, I mean, yeah, we can also start there, but also going to her apartment would also like be, I think it will be useful anyways, because we can probably pick up any like, I don't know, any clues, any hint that like, something that may have made someone else angry, that sort of thing.
Is Lucy intending on meeting us, or are we just sort of?
Well, you can ask her. She stays on the call for questions and stuff, and she says, "No, I'm in the middle of having my body built and re-verified." And you can see that they are putting on synth skin to make her look like as she was. And you can see at this point they're kind of putting synth skin over like her over her collarbone and things like that, and she's starting to look a little more human, or at least a little more Lucy now, as she's talking.
There's one thing missing from your itinerary. Got killed. What happened?
I'm afraid I don't know. Remember, I don't have recollections up until my death. The neural tape that, well, has created the person that you're speaking to now occurred 2 days before this, and I have no information that makes me believe. that
yeah,
I've been
they're
killed.
regularly updated, but
But
we
they
can't
must have-
record until the very last moment, so to say, unless you have special implants for that, if I remember right.
There's no reason for me to have a neural tape other than the one that they do every couple of months or so. It's just out of
Yeah.
luck that mine was so recent.
They wouldn't have uploaded you though if they hadn't found something to think that you would actually expire.
That's true.
Oh
they-
no,
they-
it's
they
pretty
found my body.
standard in bigger
Yeah.
Does HB have your body, or is it like, I don't know?
Oh,
Where
no,
was it found?
I can give
How
you
was it found?
I can give you the access to the coroner's office, and she sends you the contacts for the coroner's office.
Lovely. I'm gonna have to take a look at that.
Hey, Lucy, you're looking wonderful as a dead lass. I mean, to be honest, the most of dead people I look like shit, but you're pulling it off.
She gives you a wink, and the wink is a little too perfect, and she goes, "Thank you, darling. I'm
no
afraid I'm
problem,
not
love.
going to be able to.
Charming.
I'm not going to be able to indulge as I once did, and you knew that Lucy, when she blew off steam, she really blew off steam. Drugs,
At least
pleasures
we'll
of
hope.
the flesh. She was big into making sure that she had that catharsis. She burned hot.
Maybe you can actually, maybe you can install like getting drunk as an app or something on that one.
Maybe. I don't know. I'm hoping
Was
that
your-
at least I get a decent enough haptic feedback. And she starts just running one of her fingers down the hand, and she goes, "It just feels like data at the moment."
That's
I'll drink one for you.
Charming as always, Volgo. I was your death like public knowledge, or is it corp keep under wraps, HB business only kind of thing?
I was just another bitch shot in an alleyway, as far as most people are concerned. It was only when the coroner scanned my my ID chip that it came up with a House Bioroid employee code, and House Bioroid went and investigated.
All right, so that means there's probably a file with gloves. It's so like the police in Los Angeles, it's global sec, right?
Yeah, everywhere. It's global sec.
Oh, global sec. Okay. Right. So there's probably a file with global sec that may have some details that could help.
I'm not exactly a high-profile case. Yes, I'll be in the murder file. There's a lot of murders that happen in New Angeles,
Yeah,
so
they're
you'll
not
know
gonna
that she'll
care
be
that
one
much.
of many reported that night.
Oh, thankfully that means you'll probably be an easy break-in job. That makes my life a lot easier.
How can't we just have to go in? I don't think they want to stop us. Like, oh, don't touch the body of someone that we've been asked to. We have permission from Lucy herself. Like, that's her belongings.
Yes, you have investigation credentials from Haas Bioroid. I am hiring you as a member of Haas Bioroid.
Yeah, get in there, fucking no problem.
Tell us a
it's-
bit of Meridian. You started at theirs.
Oh yes, Meridian. Meridian was lovely. They're an artist, and immediately by artist you know sex worker. You watch as a Bioroid face tries to contort itself into part smiling, part pride, and a little tiny shred of embarrassment, but not much. Lucy's never been embarrassed about that kind of thing. And there's also a certain amount of regret that comes in as she realizes that their ministrations are probably going to be wasted on her now.
Yeah. And unfortunately, she doesn't remember her last night.
Though I'm sure it would have been memorable.
Yeah, if you've been there before.
Is she a
Okay.
freelancer? Is she like with a, does she have like
Club?
a manager or something like that?
They and no, they're very much a celebrity here on the strip. Yeah, it takes a long time to be able to book some of their time. Thankfully, I'm, well, somewhat of a regular.
That's good. That's good. At least you started your day off right.
I'm sure I would have.
Okay, let me just
Any
check the
beef
itinerary
with someone you remember, like the last few weeks or something?
That's the real question. A lot can happen in 2 days, but who do you think would have done it?
I checked my emails and very little. There's the usual thing. Human First have, always got a problem with what we do, but that's been the same since we were kids.
No.
Yeah,
thing
but
different.
Human First is not usually the ones to carry out clandestine assassination, if that makes any sense.
Exactly.
They're usually more in the let's all gang up on the Bioroid and beat it to fucking death.
And
or the
video it and
Bioroid.
put it on the grid. Yeah. So
They have fucking shit parties.
So, again, it's not their style.
Hey, some Human First like bands are actually pretty good.
I
I like some of their stuff.
They asked me to a party once, and I was like, okay, I'll go fucking party, 3 drinks. And they said, that's okay, it's an all-natural party. I show up butt naked, and they're like, oh, what the fuck you doing here, mate? And they kicked me out. I'm like, you told me it was an all-natural party.
I think it's because they saw I was down there and they thought there's no way that's natural. It's too small.
What's the size? What you do with it?
And unfortunately, I can confirm that it's natural from last time I had to fix it.
I mean, to be honest, someone threw a bottle at it. It's not my fault.
It was at a right angle.
You know, it may have, accidentally fell into the bottle and bent sideways.
But, I mean, geometric right angle. Literally, you could have designed buildings with that thing. Never
The
mind.
more,
We're getting off.
the more time we spend on Fulgo's junk, the more brain cells I can feel committing suicide. Anyways,
Good to know I'm blowing your mind.
the point is I think the point here is as much as they're the biggest suspect, I don't think Humanity First had a hand in this too clean.
I have to agree. Other than that, other corporations, again, there's bigger games to play. I'm a small fish. Normally when people like me
Question
die,
is, what have you
in a crossfire
gotten
or
into
something.
recently? Because any big deals you've been in, because you usually don't deal with anything that would really irate the bigger companies unless they think they
Exactly.
can get something out of it.
Life was easy. I was just checking in on things. I had some small victories here and there, finding people who tapping off the corporation and making sure they didn't do it.
This sounds more like a personal vendetta kind of thing then.
It could be, or it could just be that it was a death
Wrong
and
place, wrong
misadventure.
time?
Yeah.
Alright.
Wrong place at the wrong time is also possible in this city.
I mean, that is the
Seen a lot
cause of
of those.
99% of deaths around here. That's true. I just like to prefer that it's a personal vendetta because, well,
Then
I
at
guess
least
it
we
makes the
can
thing more
find a
interesting.
fucker.
That's true.
I'll be honest, we're missing a whole day here, so, like, if we go over to find Meridian, we may be able to tell what type of mood Lucio's in just before it happened, at the night before. She may have heard some shitty news and really needed a fuck to get it out of the head.
It wouldn't be the first time.
All right.
Exactly.
Anyway,
It's a place to start at least. We'll call you up if we find anything.
you've got my authority as investigators, but if you need more, I'm just a pad away.
Hey,
Well,
Cheers.
these days, it's here.
question I need an answer to real quick though. If it turns out someone did do it, and intentionally, like against you, not just a random thing on the street, then I want us to do something about that.
If you can, let's just say there'd be a bonus. If not, let's just say HB look after their own.
Okie dokie.
Yeah, I don't know. Those. So I see the strength some of those bioroids have. I feel like if we take care of it of ourselves, we're doing the guy a favor.
Pretty much, yeah. To give you an
I don't
idea, New Angeles Police Department, which is a subsidiary of GlobalSec, commissioned Haas Bioroid to give them a Bioroid police officer, and they got Floyd. Floyd is very efficient. When he disarms someone, he disarms someone.
I guess you're not gonna be needing these anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then gives you the Haas Bioroid card to replace them after the fact.
Yeah.
Yeah, in this case, it looks like you need new limbs. Try new. Yeah.
It's like,
New
gee,
flavor.
thanks, asshole.
Yeah. I saw the stats on Floyd, and let's say he's got 3 stats at 4. There's nothing below a 3, and he has internal
that's
weaponry.
scary.
It's just like, whew.
That's terrifying.
Yeah.
That's terrifying.
It is very terrifying. That's like
Right.
matching Victoria.
Why has Simon been looking up these stats? We'll worry, it's session 3 now. Anyway.
In all fairness, I was just looking up Haas Bioroid, and it's part of the history of
yeah.
Haas Bioroid, and I was just like, ooh, I'm doing him at some point. So yeah.
Laughed it off.
Hell yeah.
Laughed it off.
Not gonna lie, Hasbiroid is probably like thematically my favorite corp from Android.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Yeah, it's great because in New Angeles you have a riot, then a bunch of Floyds turn up, and all the rioters suddenly remember a dentist appointment.
oh, I have to go iron my dog. Be right back.
Yeah.
All right.
Anyways, I imagine by this point we're making it to the address that you gave us, right?
Yeah, I mean, none of you have got your own transport, so you are doing all the metro stuff, and this is true
Yeah.
for people. You are neither poor nor rich. You're kind of the
Middle class.
the masses. Yeah, for want of a better word, it doesn't really match up with the middle classes that you
Proletariat.
have here. You are the people on the tube, yeah, and so you're jumping on and off various kind of hover trams and things like that to get to where you're getting to.
I will say this is not going to be a stealthy trip because I'm literally playing background music wherever we go. Like we're on a fast train, go. Like,
I mean, like I say, my coat, and this is good reason to. My coat will be on, and it'll be just like Haas Bioroid first in cybernetics, that sort of thing, all the time, just scrolling across the back. You know,
Clean, efficient, humane.
exactly.
I forgot what their logo.
I'm just a doc. Like,
dog with a big fuck up bunny ears. Let's not forget that.
Yep.
I mean,
Not that weird.
like
then. It's
I'm
not
gonna
that weird,
stand
then.
out. I have a fucking lab coat on and the like red crosses on my boots to like signify
it says a,
doctor
it's-
walking around.
I think it says a lot that the person with the fucking like shifting eye colors, depending on where you look at them, is the least fucking like.
Yeah. Other than somebody who notices your eyes and goes, "Bro," kind of thing. That's it.
You're just a regular human.
You are considered a natural in comparison. Everyone's got something as part of their fashionista thing. Yeah.
First of all, cybernetics are expensive. Secondly, hey, it matter. Like I notice it, and that's what matters.
Yeah.
You realize how much these ears cost.
My character's so poor they literally got nothing. Just like, oh, well, I got a tattoo.
I got a tattoo. I don't know what the tattoo is of. Nobody will tell me. It's on my back. I got it one day. I don't know what it was.
I like the idea that every time that he asks what it is, someone always tells him a different answer.
A different answer.
Yeah.
I assume like
Is
I've
it a
got
duck? Or is it
one
a rabbit?
noticeable one, which is a
Or is
wolf
it a
one.
duck? Or
But
is it a rabbit? Anyways.
On the back, no idea.
Yeah. Oh
That
yeah,
one
you
I
do
got
have
when
a
I was
wolf
completely
tattoo.
pissed.
Yeah.
I gave them like 20 different orders.
I like the idea that the reason why people give you each answer different answers is that the tattoo is the equivalent of the doctor's psychic paper. That the tattoo becomes a different thing for depending who's looking at it. But anyway,
God.
Right. So
This is why you don't get a psychologist to do your tattoos.
there's a Rorschach. What is it? It's a butterfly. Kill him. So, you are making your way through the city. Question is, where have you all agreed to meet up?
I think we all agreed on the apartment where Lucy had
Okay,
had-
so
had
you
a fun
are
time.
going all the way up into the Manta district. You end up going onto kind of like a hover tram, like a grav tram that goes over a lot of hydroponic farms. So there's like a break between the shitty place that you call home and the well-to-do area, and it's these beautiful hydroponic farms that have been a biotechnological conversion of the wetlands that are in one of the deltas. And as you're skimming over there, you take a moment to just take in the fact that you're high up. You can kind of see the countryside around. You can see the sea. And this high up and this far away, you can't see any of the pollution that's in the sea, so it's kind of looking nice right now. And you eventually end up going into these beautiful architectural masterpieces, these corporate, penis statements that are just skimming past you. And you can see things like on the top of them there are swimming pools and arboretums and beaches, entire beaches on top of some of these things. And this grav tram has a set route. It's not on a track or anything like that. So every now and again it will just kind of go. It'll go down a tier and you just go. The whole thing will, and your stomach will just lurch. You yourself won't be knocked over. You know the plating, the grav plating in the tram is perfect. And you're hurtling through the city towards the north of the Strip and the Haas-Bioroid arcology. As you skim up to it, it is a beautiful bulb, like an almost organic plant, made of glass and plasteel. And it has around it, almost like organically growing buds off this plant, a couple of different buildings. You know from visiting Lucy, before, that one of these is the Haas Bioroid Academy, and also the Haas Bioroid Innovation Lab, where basically they can kick out a brand new bioroid in 3 hours from conception. Everything here is super, super efficient. As you get closer and closer, there are certain things pinging on your pad. As your pad tells you that you're going through kind of security checks and things like that. If you are getting closer to this building and you have a poor reputation with Haas Bioroid, you will be met at the station that you get off at and asked some pointed questions. Thankfully, your reputation is good, so you get through with no problem at all, and the pad doesn't ping up saying we checked you and you're okay. It actually sends you a welcome, and it says, welcome to the Manta District, home of the headquarters of Haas Bioroid and those who design the future.
You've been good this week, Folgo.
Less setting fire to buildings.
In other words, you set fire to the other corporations' buildings.
Yeah,
and not
I set fire to a
Haas
Genteki
Bioroid.
building this weekend.
Yeah.
I'll be honest.
Oh,
someone
let's-
betted that I couldn't set
Be
my piss on
honest.
fire.
Be honest be honest with us. How many credits have you spent on their Eve bioroids? The
Honest
sex
is-
bots, Folgo. The set bots.
I'll be honest. Does it count if it's not my money?
No.
No.
Good, because after a show last night, this man brought in a whole. Is it a word to say?
You know
gaggle of
what?
bitches?
Let's keep that for when we're over with the investigation.
I know. I'll tell you the story later, and we'll have a few drinks and laugh about it.
Needless to say, we had to replace a bunch of bearings. That's as far as we'll go. So, I didn't even know it rotated. Anyway, See, you
Check out some
don't
of the
have to come up with
attachments.
full thoughts. You just have to come up with enough of a thought to let somebody else's brain torture them.
Yeah.
You get to this beautiful plaza, and as you get off the tram, you are welcomed, of course, by a beautiful bioroid. This sleek model, always the latest model, perfect diction. The way that the jaw moves is beautifully organic. It gestures in a very kind of courtier way, just to show all of the articulation in the limbs and things like that. Even asks if you need directions and whether or not it can take you anywhere. You know where you're going. You've seen this before. You're not in any way impressed. So, not like some country hick that comes in and goes, you've been here before.
Burn the witch!
But they're metal, Pa, they're metal. I said burn.
I think definitely it's just like those people that give you the leaflets on the street. Just
I feel
no eye contact. You're just like yes.
Yeah, I feel like
you'll pop up.
I feel like Has Bioroid has like an entire division of like people, like an entire division that is just like, they're not witches, they're bioroids. Like, because I feel like the amount of criminal charges that will mount up of people just like, country hicks burning these because they think they're Satan, it will be too much. It's just, they had an entire division that's just like androids.
Yeah, it's like legal division going, human first, redneck. Okay, it's okay. Get the redneck form. And it's like, I done sold a metal man and set him on fire. So
I saw that thing and it had the devil in it.
Its eyes were red as it needed charging, sir. So the you go through that, and as you go through that, everybody here has drunk the Kool-Aid with regards to Haas Bioroid. There are adverts everywhere. There are people walking around with bioroids. Anything from kind of domestic servants to bodyguards to skilled assistants. So, walking supercomputers that are telling, important people share prices and things like that. You walk through the plaza and you go towards the big reception hall of the arcology. Now, the arcology is both the headquarter offices and also a huge apartment complex. So the crowning top of this arcology is the office building. But then the kind of bulging bit at the bottom is thousands upon thousands upon thousands of apartments, and it's where the up-and-comers live. Weirdly, as you get higher in Hasboroid, you leave the arcology and you go live in a really fucking cool house. But whilst you're in there, it's where they mould you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
As you walk in, you do get reminded of the Hasboroid philosophy. So where in Jinteki they have a very almost Japanese traditional, if you're loyal
Zaibatsu.
and you've been there for a long time, then you will eventually get promoted. Maybe even over somebody more talented than you. But age is a big thing in Jinteki. Hasboroid is completely different. They are a self-confessed meritocracy. They will take the best person, which means that you could have worked for them for 30 years. They find a better person, you're gone. It does mean that everyone is always trying to prove themselves with a little bit of a manic fever. It's neither of these two philosophies are good. They're just very polar.
Okay, so add it to the suspect list. Add someone who really wanted a promotion and decided to take out the competition.
Could be,
That's
but
only like a couple thousand.
yeah,
Yeah, that's the problem.
it could be. But Lucy was the bottom of the rung. She had only just got into the arcology, so the only person who would maybe want her job is somebody who wasn't in the arcology and was wanting to be the new street liaison, maybe. But killing
the point
her
is that
probably not the best way of doing it because they'd know that they would be in the crosshairs for an investigation.
Yeah,
Yeah.
point is like you're telling us that HB has fostered a very cutthroat environment
Oh yes,
where murder is not out of the question when you really want that.
They prefer
salary
character
increase.
assassination, pointing out somebody has fucked up and you haven't. That's normally the way to boost yourself over somebody. But there are revenge killings, for example, where somebody has exposed your fault, you lost your job, and you want to kill them. That can happen. Yeah. Typically, though, if they're trying to rise through the ranks, they will normally press you down and raise them up.
Right.
Which means they know they're going to have a rival, but that just keeps you keen.
Is
Oh,
there
well.
any we know this place is supposed to be quite fancy. Is there any homeless people around?
None.
They literally keep it clean.
Absolutely none.
That's I don't know why, but out of everything, that's probably the thing that makes this place feel like
You're in the
Yeah,
square
the
mile
worst.
now.
In comparison to the stacks where there's homeless people, there's litter, there's dumpster fires to keep people warm. I'm looking at the graphic that I've got here that's just off the screen for the stream, but you guys can see it. That is the stacks. This place, no litter. The reason for that is that every other person is a bioroid. They see litter, they pick it up.
This is uncanny. This is
I
uncanny.
look like the worst trash in this place.
I mean, to be fair, Piper is basically like smoking a cigarette on the way over. They don't fucking care about like the weird looks they get. They're on HP's payroll. Fuck it.
Yeah, I mean, there are people who have like a kind of grunge style, but it's the place where
it's more manufactured. It's more
it's
like
so manufactured. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like they bought a designer decided they want to dabble into 90s nostalgia instead of someone actually embodying the grunge rock garage air,
Yeah, they got an engineered pair of ripped shorts rather than just getting an old pair of ripped shorts, which.
Yeah.
So it reminds me of the fact that I'm technically in Oxford. I've lived in Oxford. I'm just outside of it at the moment. And there's a place they call Jericho. And Jericho is where rich students go to pretend to be poor. That's how I had it described to me. Yeah. It's very much like that. You see people who have the same style as Lord.
But we can tell.
You
that's
can
like
tell. It's painful. It's so painful. They're trying so hard to be him, and they're not him, kind of thing. So there is that, and then you do see some people who are in grunge. They look at Lord Folgo and they go, as if to say, "There's something wrong. What's wrong?" And it's like, "No, I'm the real deal, bitch. Just deal with it." Yeah.
Psychic damage.
Yeah, exactly.
Volgo just has an aura.
Yeah,
of,
you
like,
You can smell the grunge from a while away.
I remember the Enkidu slap song from the Lancer campaign.
Yeah.
Like Folgo has that, but it's more like of a like crackhead aura.
It's like I can't tell what that smell is. Is it alcohol or is it piss? These days they're pretty much the same. You go into, as I say, this huge foyer, and this foyer is like going into a mega church, but it's a mega church to a corporation. And there is a huge array of lifts that go through the spine of this thing. When you go in there, there is, of course, no barriers, nothing like that. Why would there be barriers? I mean, everyone's friends here, right? So you get approached. And a Bioroid says, I don't believe that you're residents here. Are you visiting?
Yes.
Let's say yes.
Very well. Who are you visiting?
Got 2 places to stop by. Meridian Silk and give Lucy's full name, sorry. And the Cinder Mayo's residence.
Meridian Silk is not here. Meridian Silk can be found on the Strip.
Very
Well, we're already here. Might as well just check out Lucy's apartment.
The Strip isn't far from here. You've still got off at the right.
No, I know, but it's still the thing of
yeah.
like you just got out of the taxi and then you just found out that it's the wrong address. So you have to get back. Like Piper doesn't like commuting, so they just rather do what they can here.
So when
you say Lucinda Mayo, the Bioroid goes. Lucinda Mayo is not currently available.
No, we're here. We're hired to investigate what happened.
We have permission to visit her residence.
Yes.
From her.
You watch as the Bioroid clearly takes a look at each of your faces, looks into the distance for a second and says, "Of course. Please come this way."
It's like one asked the other Bioroid, I'm like, hey, so are you the receptionist like 24/7, or is there someone else takes over?
The Bioroid turns around and says, "I'm not a receptionist. I'm just
you are a receptionist.
I'm just a helpful unit that was passing by." And you notice as another bunch of helpful units who just happen to be passing by accost a different group coming in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like
the turnstiles are Bioroids here. They walk up to you and go, "Nope," and walk you out.
Hey, do you mind if I go ask the receptionist some stuff while you guys head into the apartment?
I'm afraid there are no receptionists here.
I was going to say.
No, do you have any type of organization, or you're always here?
I find myself around here more often than not.
Oh, sorry, I had some friends were around here the other night, and I just want to know if they left their car or were hanging out outside waiting for me. I just want to know if they were around. It may have been the other night.
Oh, of course. I can certainly help that. After all, you have investigator credentials, Lord Fogo.
Yeah, I just want to know, like, maybe there were some people hanging out this building or had a car parked outside, waiting around.
I believe you'll need to speak to a security unit.
Oh,
I'm a security unit. You may speak to me.
Well, that was quick. Were there people hanging outside the building like 2 days ago? Or a day and a bit ago?
You know that she's been killed recently, as in hours ago.
Yeah, just trying to work out say if there was like a group that was tailing her from before she woke up.
Sure,
They
and
may
you
have
want to
had a
check
car or
the records. The Bioroid turns around and says, "Of course, my name is Clara. I am happy to help you." And you see that as the Bioroid says their name, Klara kind of appears almost like a badge on the synth skin, and it's there for a little while just to kind of show what the model number is, because there's a little subtle model number underneath. It'd be like A1-27B, and after a while, where it's considered that you probably read it, it disappears again because it's messing up the aesthetic. Clara takes the rest of you to one of the lifts and says, "I can access that information anywhere. If you wish, it would probably be best to access it at Lucinda's apartment."
That'll be lovely.
Cheers.
Clara steps in, gestures for you to come in, and then pretty much stares into the middle distance unless you ask them anything. As you shoot up into the guts of the complex.
Definitely playing elevator music as we go.
Ding, 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 ding,
Oh,
ding, ding.
Spyroid Anthem, surely. You know.
And the lift opens, and you walk through what is beautiful internal streets inside this place. It's huge. To Lucinda's apartment, and there's a few people who kind of look at you as if to say, "Why are they going in there?" So clearly nobody's heard. And Clara turns around to them and goes, "All is well. Be on your business." And they walk off without hesitation.
Terrifying. Lovely.
Don't worry about it. It happens.
Clara walks up to the door. There's no lock or anything like that. Clara's here. The door opens for you.
Yeah.
It's at this point that I point out that the Hasboroid arcology is run almost entirely by one of the most sophisticated AIs in the world. And you're seeing some of it happen by the fact that Clara is not even a individual bioroid. Clara is an appendage.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, ultimately, yeah. So I guess I'd like to ask Clara basically. Has Haas got any leads on Lucinda's demise?
Clara makes sure the door closes and says, "Not at present, but we have an investment in making sure that this is not part of some greater scheme. We are very glad that you have agreed to help."
Don't mind if we do. We are hoping it's some personal vendetta instead of some deep-seated conspiracy, but if we find a cabal of shadowy figures somehow plotting to take down HB, you'll be the first to know.
We're very pleased to hear this. Your assistance and compliance in this regard will be greatly appreciated and rewarded.
Yeah, as long as you keep the credits rolling.
As
Anyways,
will your discretion, of course.
Is there anything Haas would like us to know at this point in our investigation?
I'm afraid not. It's only been a scant few hours. We know very little. We're trying to catch up.
While
Piper's immediately
they are
going to look for
talking
the pad.
to her, I would like to start looking around the apartment.
Sure.
Oh yeah, I would ask permission for. We're just gonna have a look around. See what
I grab a bottle of alcohol I can find and jump onto the bed.
It's ethanol. It's medical alcohol.
Hey, Bogo, Doctor the Roid.
Hi, Clara. So
Don't you rather do
I
that?
head to our
Lorenzo?
kitchen and
I
pull out a
don't
proper
trust
bottle of
Bogo with a
vodka and then
virus.
take the medical stuff from him like this.
In response to that question, I'll be like, I'm busy. And basically, I'll put my black suitcase down, click both the and open up the forensics kit that Paul gets for being an investigator. Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
I'm looking for Lucy's pad. See if there's any pertinent information.
Probably had that on her.
Yep, there's no pad, but there are docks. There are docks, and there are access terminals here because this is inside the Holy of Holies, so this is a more powerful computer than her pad would be.
Yep.
Right. All right. So I'm gonna see if I can access like her personal account on the supercomputer. That's totally not a brain.
Yep. Okay.
That's more Gentechi's like deal.
We don't need
Sure.
computers. We've now got this flesh thing that you just plug in. So yeah.
so do I.
That's going very existence. Anyway,
Yeah.
I've got to watch that again. Well, maybe not. I'm starting to remember certain parts of it. Okay, so those who are looking around the flat, there are a couple of things that you can use. You can use perception, nice, reliable perception. You can use skullduggery to look for hidden places. You can use... normally you'd only use stealth for finding people who are hiding in the apartment, and you have a feeling that's not a problem in here. You can use anything else regarding like mechanics or operation or anything like that if you want to scrutinize an actual piece of kit. And then, of course, there's good old-fashioned computers and hacking and so on.
Yeah.
I'd like to have a
Before we
good-
start making any rolls, do we want to take a quick 10-minute break? I just noticed the time.
Yep, that's probably good before we get into the meat of it all. I certainly could do with another tea, especially considering minutes before we started this, I ended up having a coughing fit and worried that I was going to cough all the way through this.
All blame lies with Corinne.
Of course it is. So yes, we'll take a quick 10-minute break, and when we come back, we will continue getting the skin off the first part of this mystery. We'll see you in 10. And we are back, well rested and ready to blow this case wide open with
Are
the
we, though?
first rolls of the game. The apartment is the same kind of sterile, neat, contemporary, minimalist thing that you would expect. Also, you can see that stood in a corner is a very basic Bioroid model. This one has no major personality to it. And you can see it's probably some sort of cleaning Bioroid. And just looking at it, it's old. It's a really dated version. But it's been kind of spruced up as a kind of Bioroid light. It's more of a robot than a Bioroid. And
Right. When I see it, I'm going to motion to Clara, right? That was her,
Yeah.
what's her name, right? I was like, I'm gonna ask a very dumb question. Does it have, like, recording surveillance up here?
Yes, that model is capable of recalling certain things. It mostly recalls how the owner of the domicile is likes certain things to be done, the arrangements of certain things, where to place everything.
Okay.
So it has a pretty good memory.
Cheers. I'm going to go back and see if I can plug into the supercomputer. But I'll first let everyone do that.
Yep. As you interface
mean,
with it,
If you message Lucy, I think she'll give you access codes to make it easier.
That's
Yeah.
true.
you kind of go in on a friendly peer-to-peer on it, and it lets you into the first part. It says, welcome to Hans Bioroid. We have given you a certain amount of access based on your credentials. Here are the following sectors that you've been given access to. And sure enough, it gives you access to the domicile records.
Right. I'm gonna see if there's any, knowing this place, I imagine that thing is always recording even when it's on standby.
Mhm.
So I'm gonna check I'm gonna go through the footage after Lucy left the apartment.
Okay. So Lucy left the apartment the day before, because, as you know, spent the night with Meridian Silk. And so, from what you can see, it does put a privacy filter on as Lucy gets changed. And
Of course.
She kind of just throws the previous clothes onto the bed. You can see through the eyes of this thing that it goes and it picks them up. There's certain data labels that come off each of the items of clothing, which shows how it's to be washed and where it's to go and all the rest of it.
I'm skimming through the footage. I'm doing the thing of skip 10 seconds, skip 10 seconds, skip 10 seconds until I see something that catches my attention.
As you go through, this would mostly be a.
Ooh.
What
Yes.
what would I want from this? It's probably not a technical role. I would go with vigilance, actually.
Ooh. Okay. So that's going to be 2 greens for me. How many bad dice?
This is, it's right there in front of you. You can replay it, so the diff isn't high. I'll go diff 1.
All right.
Yeah.
There you go. Ooh, what's
Yeah. Okay. So
1 threat? Okay.
those are 3 successes and a threat. So the 3 successes are you succeed at the intended action. There is indeed something that Lucy is looking into. You can see that she has a pad which is like an artist's pad, I guess. So she's got a stylus out. She's called up a map, and it's a map of New Angeles. And she starts doing various sketches and things like that on a what seems to be a part of the map. Seems to be a large kind of industrial area. You can see that there are trucks, buildings, stacks of things, and she's writing a few notes here and there. And she pulls up some emails. You can't quite see the emails through this through the resolution of this thing's eyes, and she checks a couple of the emails and goes, and then basically draws a circle around one part of the map.
Can I see where she drew it on?
Yeah. If you saw that map again, you'd know where the circle was.
Okay.
Yeah. You'd have to go looking for the map, but yeah.
I'm still just gonna do a thing of like basically take a basic screenshot, save it to my pad.
Yep, absolutely.
Type of thing.
Yeah. You do get a sudden message from the AI, which is the entire building, that says, "We've noted that you've taken some data that belongs to one of our employees. Is this pertinent to your information, to your investigation?"
Absolutely.
Very well. We'll record it too. And you see that the file that you recorded gets copied.
Yeah.
Yep.
Fair enough. All right. Well, that could bite me in the ass later. Anyways, I'm gonna continue just skim. 10 seconds, 10 seconds, 10 seconds, 10 seconds until I see something interesting.
What you get is a montage of a very, very intense Lucy. She always was intense. I'd say she burns hot. She ends up taking the whole coffee, like black coffee, and then immediately after that, she holds it up and she goes single. And again, you see through the eyes this bioroid pouring her a single malt and handing it to her, and she goes straight from coffee to whiskey. She's there and she's got all of this, and when she seems to have nailed it, she kind of slaps the pad in triumph, puts the stylus back in, switches everything off, and she drains the last of the whiskey, puts it in the biocare's hands. The hand goes towards the camera. You have a feeling she tweaked its nose or something, like some sort of cute gesture. And she went, "Don't wait up," and walked straight out. She does take a small satchel with her, which you think may have either changes of clothes or maybe just an adjustment to her clothes, and it's got the other things in, like her pad and a bunch of other things.
All right. Well, we're gonna have to talk with Lucy later.
Okay.
No sign again. Skipping through the footage, no sign of an intruder alert or someone getting
Nope.
No. Okay.
Nothing after that. To be fair, where it is in the heart of the arcology, who would get in here?
No, that's fair, but still, maybe someone with high enough clearance, whether that's authentic or otherwise.
Yeah. Someone clever could probably work the system and get in here. Although, considering they will have Mother, the AI, watching at all times.
Of course, it's fucking named Mother.
Naming. I didn't. Its name isn't Mother, but it feels like Mother.
Stop naming AI after familial terms. It's creepy, and the AI will always be evil. Anyways.
The AI will be evil if you call it Uncle, certainly. Yes. I'm Uncle.
Oh no, stepbrother, I'm trapped in the mainframe.
Oh god, I hate you. Oh, I hate you, Scorm, so fucking much.
Let's pass to our other investigators. Lorenzo, you've got your kit out. What is it you're looking for?
Well, yeah, I guess really, I just want to see if there's any. Obviously, I guess probably anything she had when it went on her pad, but if there's any evidence of any work that she's been up to in the local here, if any other visitors recently, even though hopefully there might be a track on that through Folgo, but obviously if there's any physical evidence left behind of anyone else swinging by.
Okay.
But yes, it really is just having right now is a broad recce. Just having a look around and see if there's anything beyond just, a place where Lucy lives and sleeps.
Give me either a perception or vigilance roll, your choice, diff 4.
4, all right. Yikes.
I did mention the cleaning bioroid.
Yeah,
right?
you did. No.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
The
down for it.
problem with investigating a murder in a place so clean and sterile like this is that they cleaned the evidence.
Oh no! Oh no!
Oof.
Oh wait, though. But wait.
Wait,
There is a
triumph.
triumph.
But
Okay.
I'm triumphant in the abstract.
So, of course you don't find anything. Everything has been polished to within an inch of its life. You're glad that this wasn't the crime scene. She was found in an alley, as she said. But as you're going round, I would say you get a few things. So first of all, you get a pretty good DNA sample of Lucy's DNA. That doesn't mean that you can like run tests on it and things like that. You find a few bits and pieces, things that she's clearly turned around to the Bioroid and say, you do not touch this. Yeah, and the Bioroid has absolutely obeyed. Well, it's a robot. It's not even a Bioroid. But the robot has absolutely obeyed, and you've gone, well, that's going to have DNA on it. So you've got like maybe a toothbrush or a hairbrush or something that she would have used, maybe a personal item that she would have told it, look, don't. I don't want to brush my teeth and taste bleach, kind of thing. So you're like, okay.
But it's strawberry flavored bleach.
But it has lemon scent, mistress. I'm sounding like Crichton. I'm going to say that your advantage is that you do get a good DNA sample. It doesn't shed light on anything, but it's an asset. Yeah. So write down that you have that. As for the triumph, oof. What would you get from a place like this? Okay, you're an investigator. So I'm going to let you cold read this place.
Okay.
You've been in places where people have been afraid. They've been anxious. They've been sleeping with a gun under their pillow. You've been in places where people have been angry, obsessed. And okay, she was a workaholic, but there's a special kind of obsession, like a criminal obsession. You end up just taking in the room, being in the most holy of holies. This is where she can kind of be herself, the self that she doesn't have to show to the outside. You see that this is somebody who's just normal. Okay. Genuinely, the person who was here last had no fears, no worries. They worked hard. They were a creature of fierce routine.
Okay.
But the notes that you find...
didn't see it coming, at least in the morning.
Yeah. The notes that you find are just too casual. They're blasé. She's focused on the minutiae. Normally you find somebody who's got... you look through old notes and then you compare them to the notes just before her death, because she was there like 24 hours before she died. Not 24 hours, it would have been about 30, 40 hours. And she looks at it and goes... you look at it and you go, there's no change in her routine. And these are things like, pick up soykaf and things like that. None of this is particularly a problem, Also, you find that there's no... when people, certain minds, think that they're going to run, they put certain things to one side. And this is actually true. This is straight from Paul Britton, Pickett, the Jigsaw Man. And depending on what type of person they are, and to a certain extent their gender, depending on gender roles, there's just things that they'll prioritize. There doesn't seem to be any of that. The person who left this flat fully intended to return.
Okay. And I just turn to the Bioroid robot and be like, fastidious, aren't we?
The robot,
cleaner, yeah.
the cleaner turns around and says, Haas Bioroid produced the best cleaners that are possible. Clones, unfortunately, are capable of picking up bad, let's call it, human faults. We, on the other hand, are able to see in a number of different areas. For example, I can see in blacklight, and it basically little bulbs above its eyes go on, and you're kind of like, and you can see that there's no body fluids around here.
I know. I've seen the ads. I've seen the ads.
on the trench coat.
The robot would give an approving look, but it really doesn't have that capability.
Spare me the copywriting.
Yeah. I'm going to say we'll be merciful and the blacklight doesn't fall on Lord Fogel.
Yeah.
Which one of these specs is blood?
Yes.
One of these is not mine. Okay. You get a person who, and I'd say it was around about 30, 40 hours before she was murdered was when she last left this.
Okay.
Yeah.
We have the start of a timeline, at least.
Yeah. Scorm, what is Lord doing? Is he going to be chatting up the security Bioroid, or
Drinking on the bed, the eye contact with the Bioroid. He's like, hey, Clara, love, I got some questions for you, and tell me if I'm being a bit inappropriate. How much range you got? On your whole system. Can you see this building or other buildings?
I'm capable of accessing any information that is pertinent for this unit to know. That means that, well, frankly, the entire Hasbioroid controlled area of the Manta district I can access. If necessary, and if made available by Hasbioroid, I can upload the telemetry of any unit in the city. Why?
Oh, I just want to ask, because if I don't want to ask questions that are going to be, in the way or getting, Anyway, back on focus. Before I forget, how many people have been in the last between when Lucy even the day before Lucy left, anyone been standing outside the door or going or unsuspicious people going into the house, the rooms next door, or just standing outside this door?
If you want, I can check the last month of footage.
No, just last week max.
I've done it. There don't seem to be any correlations of anybody who was standing outside. Also,
Okay.
This is true of the foyer, which I believe you were looking for people who would potentially be outside the main foyer.
And no suspicious cars.
I'll run all the number plates. I've run all the number plates. No, nothing there was unexpected.
Right. So, is there any type of not talking about here, but as she goes around her day at work, is there anyone who any suspicious character or cars actually following her around? Do you think any suspicious vehicle has been going to the exact location she's been going to in your range?
Lucinda Mayo would use public transport. She believed that it was a good way to stay connected to her street liaison duties. As a result, I wouldn't be able to follow her through many places unless I made some sort of requisition. I would need to basically chain all the times that she passed a Bioroid, and that Bioroid had information that I could upload. Not all Bioroid units are allowed.
That's what I'm asking. Is any checkpoint? You got a bunch of fucking checkpoints around the city. Did anyone suspicious go to multiple places that they don't normally go in the same way that she went?
I believe a certain amount of this investigation has already been done by Hasbioroid. I should check the investigation notes. There have been no suspicious correlations.
So no one was tailing her. Thanks. Did she at any point during her day, last time you had her on record, did her emotional state seem a bit confuzzled or something? Or was she
Lucinda
fine?
Mayo was a professional. Her emotional state was not revealed to us.
Okay, so she didn't show any signs of distress while she was in your range.
No data leads to that conclusion.
Okay. Well, in fact, she'll love you. You're wonderful, wonderful Bioroid. Very beautiful.
Thank you, I'm very well made.
Well, that's all I can do, lads and lasses, and everyone in between. So I'm going to have a drink. Lay down. Drink.
That's my day done, boys.
I don't have nothing. I have no useful skills here. I talk to people.
I mean,
yeah, you're there for when you have to cause trouble and say the things that the other people can't. Yeah.
Well, I've done all I can here. Where else is close? Simon, is the Strip close to here, or is it elsewhere in the city?
The Strip runs the length of the Manta district. It's basically the boulevard that's on the waterfront.
I want to do
Yeah.
one last thing before we leave the apartment.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to check, Lucy's like agenda or something. You know, like her planner, like her virtual planner or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see if there's like, how do I say, if she had any meetings with like specific individuals. So instead of like a board meeting, it would be like lunch with X person, you know, meeting with Y person, that sort of thing.
The only one in the last 24 hours, as is on the itinerary, is the tactical lunch with Bunny Harvard. At which point, you had no idea who Bunny Harvard was before, but because you're in the Haas-Boyeroid arcology, the second that you mouse over her, her business card comes up. Bunny Harvard is a corporate liaison. So where Lucy is a street liaison, Bunny Harvard is a corporate liaison.
She's the one who talks with the other corps.
She stays in the high-flying corporate dealios and speaks to the
She's the one who politely.
elite.
She's the one who tells Jinteki representatives politely to fuck themselves. Got it.
Pretty much. Typically, a street liaison will normally feed information to a corporate liaison so that the corporate liaison isn't too stuck in their world and vice versa.
Right.
Hence, tactical lunch. So she had regular tactical lunches with Bunny Harvard.
Okay.
And other than that, yeah, there are certain meetings that come up, but
names?
none of them that seem out of the ordinary. You know, she had meetings with like HR and stuff like that. Really basic bitch meetings that the second you look at them, you're like, boring, next. And
Right.
that's true of certainly the couple of weeks before.
Got it. All right. Well, I just log out and I'm pretty much done here. I don't know if you guys have anything else to do.
No, this was mostly for you to find out things. I can't exactly do anything here.
Cheers.
As an incidental, I'd like to sort of note the time she actually, because we've got her nominal itinerary.
Mm-hmm.
I want to note what time she left so we can sort of look at.
Oh yeah, I
where
probably
she
saw that
arrived
on
next.
the video. Yeah.
In that case, yeah, she left probably. I only really planned out the 24 hours of the itinerary with specifics, but she left around about 6 p.m. the day before.
Cool.
Said don't wait up. So what you presume is that she went off, did the last of her kind of schnoozing around the city, and then basically partied the fuck out.
Cool. I guess just broad statement is that Lorenzo's going to be looking for any gaps that don't match between the stops on her path as we track her as we go.
Okay.
If we lose track of her, you know, because we don't know when she left somewhere specifically, cool. But I'm just generally there's going to be an ear to the ground on that as we.
Actually, I'm going to say that both you and Rodrigo have been kind of trying to do this, and you've been trying to find the cracks in any continuity. So I'm going to give you both a roll.
Okay.
It's going to be high. I'm not going to tell you the reason why. So, Rodrigo, give me a straight computers. So that means you can use computer hackers or computer sysup. It doesn't matter which one you use.
Okay.
Your choice. But this is mostly your savvy. And either would have this savvy. The diff is going to be 4.
Okay.
Come on, Rodrigo, this is what you're good at.
Fuck off.
Yeah, I mean, this is kind of an alien life to you. The lifestyle is very different. It's part of why the diff was so high. The other bit is you're literally in the most complex AI that's in this canon. So, yeah, as you're there and you're trying to just kind of look at version histories of meetings and things like that, you almost feel like the AI is kind of going, why do you want this? And is almost like feeding you the most essential data only. That's the only thing I'll give you out of this, because you neither got threat nor advantage.
Piper is visibly frustrated, but they're
Yeah.
trying not to let it show.
Yeah, I mean, you know you're
Considering
in, like, you know, this place that has, for a hacker, this place is turned up to 11 on the difficulty. So,
Yeah.
you know, there's no shame in this. Yeah? You know, if you'd got anything, it would have been major kudos, you know. So, Paul, same thing. I'll go with observation.
Observation.
Perception. Sorry,
Perception. Yeah.
Again, diff 4.
Woohoo. Right, cool.
Please do better than me.
Zack. And actually, no, the kit won't help me out with this, will it?
No.
That's fine. Right.
This is you piecing together like diaries and stuff.
Oh, well, boo, but...
That dice loves you.
Yeah, it sure does.
The number of disadvantages, or threats, I should say. Yeesh, it's like,
4 threats.
4 threats,
yeah.
1 triumph.
One
Okay.
triumph. One dice does love me.
So, with the 4 threats, actually, I'm going to say with the 4 threats, it's actually Piper that realizes that Lorenzo's been tagged. He went over certain details too many times, and he's been tagged by the AI. The AI is just keeping a little eye on his pad right now, wanting to know what he's doing. It's not an aggressive tag, it's just you interfaced with us, we put a cookie in your pad. You could probably remove that very easily, but if you did so...
Reject your cookies. Reject your cookies.
I'll do it. After we leave, Piper's gonna offer Lorenzo to debug his pad.
Yeah, I mean, 4 threats, I had to do something profound.
No,
so
that's
yeah,
fair.
the AI is watching you going, what are you doing? That doesn't make sense. Bear in mind, it's an AI. So what doesn't make sense to it?
Outside normal parameters.
Yeah, outside normal parameters. With the triumph, though, okay, you were studying her calendar.
Yeah.
So Lucinda's a creature of habit. But she's also a creature of opportunity. She's flexible, right? Just ask Meridian Silk. But when an opportunity arises, she will suddenly be able to just roll with the punches. Yeah, she's not a creature that worries about change. And you can see that. You go back a couple of months and there was just suddenly a thing tagged to one of the meetings as an email, and the email is kind of like, oh my god, have you seen... And it was some sort of scandal, and they were just trying to find the silver lining to the storm cloud. And she dropped everything and went into a huge amount of pulling her corporate allies together to make sure that they all got their part of the cream out of this situation.
Right. Well, I'm just going to put down, Lucy doesn't always stick to the plan.
She doesn't always stick to the plan. And by the sounds of it, when this scandal went off, she was able to fly by the seat of her pants. Yeah? She would ad-lib quite heavily to be able to get it done, and she wasn't afraid of it. And that kind of lends to a little something you knew about her in the streets. She was good at thinking on her feet. She would walk into situations that were most of you would reject as being too dangerous, but she saw a game in there, and she knew that she could just about get through unharmed. And be able to reap some of the benefits. She was always a chance taker, but she was a very good chance taker. And you can see that she's still doing that now. So up until the point where she was murdered, she still took chances. Yep. Sometimes what would be seen as either calculated risk or reckless.
Cool. All right. Okay.
Awesome.
Noted.
Well,
the next
can
question.
I grill the bot while this is going on, like finding out where was the body found, where is it now, and all of the getting some information of. Okay, but what have you guys done so far, so that we don't redo the same thing, which is very illogical.
Mm-hmm. It was found by a dawn patrol. By dawn patrol, I don't mean an actual patrol officer. I mean the people who go to work at stupid o'clock in the morning.
Yep.
It was found.
That's me.
It was found at 5:30 in the morning by somebody who was on the way to their job. They found her just a limb flopping out of a dumpster. And
of course they had to stuff her in the dumpster. Why am I not surprised?
She'd been shot by a laser pistol.
Hmm.
Not a nice way to go. Very painful.
Where did
way
I
to
hit
go.
her?
Square in the chest.
I want access to the body and to double check some things.
Yeah, they pull up the file and they tell you where the coroner is, and it's the same one that Lucy gave you.
Yeah. Well, at least now I have the preliminary file that I can like check over while we're moving.
In the metro again.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, something to do.
So
I
I
have a
mean,
question.
Mm-hmm.
Could I roll streetwise on how she was killed? Because if she's been hidden, to me, my character would think that's a bit suspicious. Because if you're like a mugger, you just go for the kill, grab the loot, run. Because you're not really cared about your record being caught or that.
That's a very
Yeah.
good point.
Yeah, go for that. I will. I'll let you roll at either Diff 2 or Diff 3, your choice.
I'll go with Diff 2. Not really thinking about it too hard.
Yeah.
So 2 purples. And
You're
then,
thinking about this through the whiskey haze.
Yeah.
Yeah, for him, the whiskey haze is his normal, so you know,
Yeah.
he's just thinking.
The whiskey haze is what's helping him think.
Yeah. Personal error.
Okay,
An advantage.
nothing jumps out at you, Lord. It's more, you're like, yeah, sure, you know, even a mugger would have just, for convenience sake, just lifted her up and flopped her in a dumpster, and you kind of, the advantage is you go, hang on. Pretty much all of her dresses and even some of her going out clothes, even crop tops, used to have concealed bucky weave in them. Either they hit a part of her that didn't have the bucky weave, or they hit her with something strong.
Ooh.
Like, we're not talking laser pistol, we're probably talking like
Rifle.
laser rifle. Yeah? Like two-handed weapon.
Any of her stuff taken, like that we know of, or
I don't relay that to anyone until I get to the.
No, of course not.
Yeah.
But I'm just thinking the usual stuff, like did she have all her stuff on her, her PDA and all her specs? Did I take her cybernetics? Because you know, a lot of people will kill someone, take their cyber stuff, and then sell it on the black market.
Nothing was taken from her.
Yes, I
So-
suspected.
Not a mugging. It was definitely intentional.
So my character's thinking, I won't say it till we're on a thing, but they're thinking basically this doesn't seem like a personal thing. Like at least it could be a they had the opportunity to do the kill, but it doesn't seem like someone was specifically targeting her. At least not within the company, because there was no stalking, there was no obsession, there was no sign of someone obsessing over her or
That we
tracking
know
her
of
or trying to
moment.
find nothing. Yeah.
I won't
Either that
push.
or they did it outside of the
because they're
Manta
not in
district.
not in the arcology. Certainly, they've massively policed arcology, but
Yeah.
TV, but maybe back home, maybe so.
I won't. You did get an advantage, so I'll give you a little bit on that, but I can't push it too far because you only had one. And that is that typically, if it's nothing personal, if it's just business, you don't hide the body, because normally, if it's nothing personal on the person that you killed, you leave it to who it. You leave it to be discovered.
Like a message.
Yeah, you leave it to be discovered by the people you are trying to influence.
Yeah, that's why my character doesn't think it's like just a mugger, because it's just like you mug them and you just run away.
Yeah.
But he doesn't think it's like someone obsessing over her, because normally they would want to get closer.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like it was a calculated high power shot, which suggests a certain amount of premeditation. Either that or someone who just carries around a big fucking gun. And the fact that it was a clean shot is not a nice way to die, being boiled alive by a laser, but it's not the worst. You've seen a lot worse on the streets, people being, chopped up by machetes and things.
Floyd.
Yeah.
You've seen a bioroid go up and just pull someone's arm off because they refuse to drop a gun. There are lots of worse ways to die.
Seen a lot of worse ways to die.
Yeah.
Between
As a
the
net
ER
runner.
and the street work,
As a net runner, they're also having your brain fucking fried, you know?
People having to mop up your brain as it pours out your nose, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Alright, so
This is why cyberpunk is terrifying.
it's super terrifying, but it's a lot of fun.
Mhm.
Anyways,
So Google Map Simon.
Yeah.
where is so? I assume the Ironworks. Where's it? We're in the Manta district right now. So
You're in the Manta district, yeah.
The Ironworks is nearby.
The particular ironworks that
the one we're in.
Yeah, because there's a franchise. The one that she went to is on the Strip, and so is Meridian Silk. They're both in the same place.
So we've got those two are right nearby on the Strip.
Yeah.
We've got. Is Banner's Yard nearby as well? Is that part of the house?
No, Banner's Yard is halfway between your home and the Manta district. The hooligans are actually in your district.
Okay, so hooligans are way back home.
Yeah.
Bunny, we don't actually know where she met, other than, or do we? We don't.
You know where they met. They met here, a restaurant in the arcology.
Okay, so that's also nearby. So Bunny's okay, but the point is, I guess we
Thinking
go to
about
the
splitting
restaurant,
up.
but we want to see Bunny. We don't want to see the restaurant.
Yeah, we need to like.
And you know that
Take
Bunny
it.
lives here, so that's
Okay,
Yeah,
but Bunny,
we need
so
to-
Bunny's also local. But also, you know, she went to see Haas. Where is it? Just to check in.
Haas Bioroid, yeah, that just means that she was here, like, reporting in and stuff. That's probably the most boring one of the lot.
So bizarrely, she sort of like stayed generally in the north, except for a brief swing back home. Well, apparently, a brief swing down south to see the hooligans, and it was generally. And the Banner's Yard was also.
So by the looks of it, she started off here in the Manta district. She went
Woke
down
up,
to the hooligans. On the way
to
back,
the
she
gym.
went into Banner's Yard.
Yeah.
Then she met up with Bunny Harvard here, and then checked in with Haas Bioroid that was around here.
Then down
she went
to-
back down to you guys again for Jimmy.
And then Euphoria, we don't know about. The
Where's
atrium,
Euphoria?
We don't know. We don't know nothing about it right now. It literally just
Okay.
says wherever it was, get some drugs at Euphoria.
Yeah, Euphoria is going to require a society roll. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Right.
When can we roll that, by the way?
I got a
You
yellow.
can roll
and
that
green.
anytime you like. If you go, ooh, Euphoria. We can see if
Yeah,
you.
because I have a society, so I wouldn't mind doing that.
Go in, Bunny.
Yeah, go for it. You can do a society 2 or a society 3.
I'm gonna push myself and do a 3.
Oh
Nice.
wait, how does pushing yourself work again? I forgot about that.
No, he
well,
said 2 or 3, so
Yeah,
I
so
get
she
to.
she
okay.
pushed the extra thing. Actually,
Okay.
that's something that we haven't actually loaded up. Everybody roll a white dice, please.
Ooh,
Oh yeah. A white one, yes.
ooh, okay.
Oh, hang on, sorry. Is there wrong thing? Sorry. Roll. Go into special rolls and roll destiny. It's still a white dice, but it puts the tokens up.
Uh-huh.
Oh,
dear.
it's all coming up me.
Oh dear.
Wait, where do I do that for Destiny?
So if you
Special rolls.
click special rolls,
okay.
it'll open up and then hit roll destiny.
Cool. Oh, fuck
Oh,
off!
it's all come at me.
Oh,
Okay, I better start
God.
spending these things so
Oh,
that you get
no.
a chance. Okay.
Oh no. I
Wow.
don't know.
Wow. Okay.
Basically,
To be fair, the first time I rolled 2 nice ones.
for the viewers at home, if you hadn't guessed, that's.
Oh, come on!
Those tokens let either us, if they're white, they let us do cool things. If they're black, they let Simon do cool things.
Yep.
You will notice the absence of white ones right now.
So I succeed, but I get 3 threats.
Okay.
Well, I double succeed.
Yep. So, yeah, when you in this case, this is a knowledge society roll. So, your
Yeah.
knowledge society is that it's in your brain. This isn't you googling. It's you either know it or you don't. You
Yeah.
know it. Euphoria is a high class drugstore that is here in the Strip. Yeah. She went there to go get sweeteners. You know what sweeteners are? Basically, they're party drugs that you give to other people. Yeah.
Super ecstasy, cool.
Yeah. So it's like giving somebody buying somebody top shelf whiskey or top shelf brandy. But in Cyberpunk, you give them one of the really good tabs.
Yeah. Yeah. And I probably know about it because I've seen people on the other end.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to let's see.
I have an idea for the 3 threats, if that's okay.
Ooh, go for it.
So, there's the 3 threats means okay. So you do figure out what Euphoria is. You know what they do. The reason you know that is because there's someone there that really doesn't like you. Will probably like you dead.
You and I were thinking the same thing. I'm going to say that you treated somebody who took an overdose and you named Euphoria in your report.
Oh yeah, that would make sense.
That will put a target on your back.
So
I
Euphoria.
have to. It's my job.
Yep. So Euphoria
people don't
doesn't.
care.
Yeah, Euphoria doesn't sell like ecstasy, or LSD, or cocaine. It sells
They sell
designer drugs. So
Yep. Crack.
it's kind of like Golden Cloud, or Dies Weeping, or Laughing Cactus, or something like that. Really psychedelic, trippy names, all of which have been copyrighted, of course. Yeah, Euphoria has a certain amount of quasi-legal status in the city, in that, again, it has the same thing as the Deep Corners Club in that they supply the rich and shameless. So
Yeah.
they have connections.
Right.
And for you, it was just a late night and you named the drug that they overdosed on. And by naming the drug, you inferred that Euphoria supplied a drug that could harm someone. And their lawyers took offense to that.
Of course they did.
The hospital
Oh,
took
they're-
the hit and just said, oh, well, no, what she meant is that, the symptoms were like that. She didn't say it was that. And they managed to doctor the notes just in time, but your name might be remembered in Euphoria.
Euphoria. This can't be good for me, but I feel great.
Indeed, indeed.
Yes,
Well-
and Hermit has brought up, you can push yourself. If you fail a dice roll, you can push your character and
Okay.
re-roll the dice, but you have to
Okay,
take
I'm gonna
2
keep that in mind.
strain.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
keep that in mind.
Yeah.
I play Blades in the Dark, so this is normal. That's normal for me. So.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that. That's Genesis, not Star Wars, isn't it? We're taking...
Yeah,
No,
it's
that's Genesys,
Genesis.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Okay, I didn't realize. Ooh, okay. Strange.
Yeah, we could have done a lot of bullshit
good.
if we knew that in Star Wars.
A lot of bullshit. Anyway,
We like to
Noted.
keep
Imagine
something
all
simple.
those failed attack rolls.
Pretty much all rules in Genesis are optional. So if you
Yeah,
don't
fair
want to
enough.
mire people in too much rules, you can
No,
just
no,
keep
right,
the rules
no,
light.
just-
So yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
Okay.
All right, so I
Um,
think after all that, I'll turn to Clara. Clara is like, well, thanks for the assistance. I don't think we have anything else to do here.
Of course. Do see yourself out. And
Cheers.
Clara walks off and starts walking towards the foyer.
Are
Right.
we alone, or well, I mean, as alone as we can be?
You're as alone as you can be in a building that is basically one big AI. Yes.
I just point over at the vacuum cleaner
Yeah.
robot, like, kinda.
Shall we?
Well, yes, we can still meet up with a few people here.
There's plenty of places to hit on the strip, right?
Yes.
To be fair, most of what she did that day was on the strip.
Indeed.
Yeah.
So should,
Just around the
should we
corner.
head out to the strip?
It
and
is
then come
mostly
back?
on the strip what
Yeah.
she did. I'll,
The
Is it
Paragon
while
Club,
you guys
the
head
Paragon
over
Club
to
was on the strip,
Euphoria,
but
I might tip into the coroner's office to check over the body.
Is that also nearby? I mean, we're just trying to go through the places they're
coroner's
actually
office, they brought it to a local coroner's office, as in a Haas-Boyeroid controlled office. So yes, it's at the local coroner's.
Okay.
So they
All right.
they pulled her across town.
Fuck.
While everyone's
okay.
getting ready to leave, I just go into the bathroom, look inside the drug cabinet, just to see what's there.
There's a couple of random pills in there. If you want, you can do a medicine diff 1 with 2 blacks check.
Ooh.
Boop, boop.
Or ask the doctor.
Oh,
two-
just looking
The 2
at
blacks are your
Okay.
background saying, I don't care what they are, I don't mind taking them.
It's. Oh God, have you played Disco Elysium?
Not yet, no, but I can see it being a relevant thing.
I think
This is
Simon's
the
about to
difference.
roll
This
on
is the difference between a knowledge. I think like a knowledge check and an electrochemistry check for those that have played Disco Elysium.
There's I'm going to say there's 3 sets of pills there. 3 different bottles.
I just take them all and put them in my pocket. It's like, oh,
Sure.
for the road.
Note that you have
There's the
3
the
bottles
black
of
and
pills.
the yellow. That's it. There's the
I'm surprised there was not a thread in there.
there are drugs in the drug cabinet.
And it's like, I don't know
Oh.
what these are, but I want them.
Okay. With the advantage, you're pretty sure that none of them are. Yeah, I'll give that. You know that they're not recreational drugs. That's not to say they won't give you a buzz.
Yeah.
They're actual drugs, not drugs.
Yeah,
I'll go.
they're medical drugs, but you've got high on medical drugs before. Hell, you've got high on cleaning products before. You're good. You know.
Folgo, if please don't projectile vomit over the nice lady's house bathroom. We should probably get going already.
I'm doing the hallway.
It's not like she's gonna
Do we even
use
know?
the
I don't
bathroom
even
again
know.
anyways.
I think Fogo just went to the bathroom.
Oh, there wasn't really loud
Yeah, and
noises.
Piper's saying, please don't
Crash,
projectile
crash.
vomit because it's a
Oh.
regular occurrence.
Well, there's that. Yes.
Yeah, there would be the sound of rustling and just crowd, like literally open up the jacket, pour in the pill balls, like.
There's not even 3 pill bottles now. There's just a melange of medicine. In
Just a mass of pills. Yep.
Yeah.
And the thing is, they're all small
Like
white
Skittles.
pills, so you can't
Oh.
now tell them apart. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Okay.
Folgo.
It's basically when Simon's going to roll randomly on the
I
drugs table
will.
later on. It's just a countdown until you re-roll on the drugs table later.
Yep.
It's not.
I'm literally like by this point I don't care. He's like, Folgo, get the fuck in here.
Right, lads, lasses, and everyone in between. We're going, I guess.
Oh, remind me. In
Yes.
Beanstalk, nobody walks anywhere in Beanstalk. In
Yep.
New Angeles. Okay. Well, basically, yeah, let's get the tram down to the strip or whatever. Or
There's trams, there's taxis and things like that. So yeah.
As soon as we are on a tram, or at least when we are away from the arcology, when we're outside of the building itself,
Mhm.
Piper's gonna light out another cigarette and gonna be like, Lorenzo, your pad,
yeah.
give it to me.
While they're
Sure.
doing that, I just want to tell them, go, smoke is bad for your health.
You're not
genuine.
one to preach.
I once saw you smoke a tampon. Shut up about your health advice.
No, I saw you smoke the type of shit that comes in glass pipes. You don't get to judge me. Comando piedra.
If it wasn't for all these years of knowing you guys, I would renounce our friendship.
Anyways, Lorenzo, pad,
Sure.
give it.
There you go.
Give it.
Hand over my.
Right, I am going to basically like run essentially a factory reset, or maybe more like I'm just gonna debug the entire thing. I'm just gonna get rid of all of the tags while still keeping the information Lorenzo keeps in there intact.
But
That shouldn't be too hard for me.
I had it set up just how I liked it.
Yeah, well, too bad.
All the bloatware's back.
All those pop-up ads that just
Look,
live on the
listen,
main screen.
Piper does this for a living. They wouldn't put the
Yeah.
bloatware back.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just gonna
But
say
they
that
would
this is
remove all the malware.
Yeah. This is a straight hack, and it's going to be a diff 3, and I think you've got knack for it, haven't you?
Give me a moment. It's a straight hack. What do you mean knack for it? I just don't
Is
get it.
no the talent.
Do you have the talent knack for it?
Oh no! Oh, I didn't know that was a thing I could take. So yeah,
Okay,
no,
no,
I
that's
don't
fine.
have.
Okay. You interface with the pad because you don't
Which talent
use
did you take?
his pad directly. You know what kind of Luddite does that? All you do is you just interface it, get him to allow the direct peer-to-peer connection, and you go through your rig because it's your rig. Yeah.
Yeah, I put some shades on, which are some I forgot what they're called. Felicia.
Smart specs, isn't it?
Smart
Yeah,
specs,
smart
yeah.
specs.
Yeah, smart specs.
Yeah.
Since you don't have the funds for a jack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yet. You don't have a skull jack yet. And yeah, you kind of activate the haptics on your hands, and what looks like you just kind of stimming is actually you programming.
Right. Okay. So hacking diff 3, right?
It's going to be diff 3, but because you haven't got knack for it, also 2 black.
Unless you have something that removes flags, because I know you looked at a few talents
actually,
that had to do with.
I said I need to start. I said I need to start using them. Turn one of the purples into a red.
Okay, cool. Awesome. Yeah, please do bear in mind that I only had a cursory glance at the talents.
Oh yeah.
And I only
That's fine.
picked
This is all
things that I
part
thought-
of of learning the game. That's why you're all entry level characters.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I
We
know
are
I have
basic
strength to burn,
bitches.
so
Okay.
a threat and a triumph.
Okay.
That is still
okay.
a success, isn't it? Because of the triumph.
Let's have a look at because if
I think it calculates as in if you do it yourself, you'll see there's the triumph generates both a triumph and a success.
and success, but
No,
the
there would be
success
a-
got cancelled out. Yeah, so I can see there
Okay.
it
See
did
it
get
there.
cancelled out. Okay. So you try to remove this this tag, and it's almost like a code version of a fucking tapeworm. It's stuck into all the
Could I have used
files.
Garrot?
And well, we got there.
Okay.
Yeah, and you they're kind of going, what kind of fucking tag is this? It's just a tag. I get rid of tags on a daily basis. What the fuck?
Yeah.
And you can't get rid of it. And then the triumph hits, and you realize why. It's not a tag. It's a sentry.
Ah.
A piece of ice has been put into Lorenzo's pad, and it's a triumph, so it's the best thing possible. You immediately know what it is. It's a spy. This is a piece of ice that not only protects his pad, but also censors some of the information that he gets. It redacts things that he's pulling in. And it's
so,
seamless. He doesn't even know it's happening. As he's using it's redacting anything that makes him go in a direction that they don't like.
Yeah, so you see, like, again, Piper is doing this thing and just goes, piss.
So you've got two choices. You can either just know that it's there and tell Lorenzo and live with this spy in his pad, or you can get your garrote out.
I'm gonna get the garrote out.
Let's say, as soon as I hear the piss, I'm like, look, everyone goes to some weird places on the net sometimes. Okay.
Oh no, it's fine. I've seen Folgo's browsing history against my will, mind you.
I
But
was going to
still.
say that I pull out a flip phone that looks like it was. As well as I barely know how to fucking use this thing.
Okay. So
Yeah, please. No, you're gonna have to explain these things for me because I know Netrunner's a whole.
So we are going to do a break ice check. In this case, you're not hacking into something. You found something, and you found that it is ice. It's a piece of countermeasure tech. I would like you to do me a Diff 2 hacking check. And basically, if you succeed, you get to add your garrote strength to it, which is 2.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's go.
Okay.
That's an. Okay, can I use strain to reroll that because I don't know if that counts as success.
You won't need to because you're using garrote.
Cool.
Garrote has got 2 functions. The first function is that if you fail and you have an advantage spare, you can use it to get an automatic success towards your next roll. However, you know that this was placed as a spy. It's reporting back to Haas Boyroid. So there's a second function of garrote, which is why it's called garrote. And that is, if you get an advantage, it doesn't get to report back because you're literally choking it.
Choking it, yeah.
So you don't win, but you're there like, but you're not talking either, are you? You have engaged with it. This ice knows that it's engaged, but it can't cry for help. You get another roll with no setbacks. So you don't need to push yourself at the moment.
Okay.
Rodrigo, can you just double check which talents you picked? Because I know you had the one at least.
Yeah.
I have custom code. I have
Oh, that
custom
might be
code,
relevant.
custom.
Yeah, that was why. I remember you mentioning custom code, so I wanted to double check if you have it, because that is actually
Yeah.
applicable to this situation.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank God! I'm not useless.
Right, so let's have a look. Custom code. When your character selects this talent, they choose an icebreaker or a piece of ice they own. If they choose that, if they choose an, yeah, okay. Whenever they use that icebreaker to override ice, they add an extra advantage.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Okay.
Okay, so what's happened is not only are you there going, shh, no, because you got that advantage on the roll, you also get a success to your next roll. Yeah? Because when you garrot someone, it doesn't happen first time. You have to keep squeezing. So do the same roll, but you'll find, before you roll it, if you click on symbols, there's a little button called symbols.
And you can just add.
And where you've got the success, which is just the starburst without the circle on it, just click that up to 1, and then roll the rest.
Cool.
And it will add that success in.
Holy fuck!
Bang! And this is what the hacker does. So you're like, shh.
Wait, you didn't roll your purple dice.
Oh, you didn't roll the purples. So just roll.
Oh, sorry. It's because he said no setbacks. So I thought
sorry.
that meant
the diff is the same. The diff is the same. So
the setbacks is the black.
Okay. There we go. So you calculate the result from that. My bad.
Yep. Okay.
Still 2 success and 1 advantage.
Yeah, absolutely. So you're there and you're just like, yep. And suddenly you just break the ice. The ice completely deactivates. And what it does is it goes down into like an installer package. Mm-hmm. And it's just there like... And you can see that this thing is ready to install itself again, unless somebody, deletes it.
Yeah. Actually, is it okay if I'm assuming this is kind of like a zip file? Is it can I just take the zip file out and keep it for myself?
Yes, you can. You basically
you
can put it on like a flashcard and go, and you're not connected to anything.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that.
You're mine now.
Yeah,
I can study you later.
You can study this later and see if you can make your own version.
Which you can install on your thing
on your pad and get your own spyware. Yep, absolutely.
Yeah.
So that's
you'll come useful later. Yeah. Later. Okay, so now now that I know that Lorenzo's pad is not listening in on him or us, then I jack out, right?
Yep. You leave Lorenzo's pad squeaky.
Whew, okay, well that was terrifying for a few seconds. Yes, so basically, Hasbire, I don't know what you were snooping on, Lorenzo, but HB decided that it wanted to spy and redact information that you got, but I took care of it. Yeah, just be more careful next time. Or at least more...
One would think the guy looking into the network would be the one who got the virus.
Rodrigo, note down that you have a copy of Magic Marker.
Well, everyone's like, I'll be honest, all this tech stuff, your one's amazing. Mine just does this. I pull up a video of a naked fog man making really odd sounds.
Oh, disgusting. Oh, fuck.
Just making those really annoying
How did I get the virus?
How did Lorenzo get the virus?
I'm sorry, mate, but you should be riddled.
It is impressive,
that should be disgusting. How do you practice safer cybersecurity than him?
Lord loses his phone at least once every week. So
it's like Mr. Burns, like too many diseases crying out at once. I'm
invisible.
Fine. He only uses like disposable ones, anyways.
Anyways, point being, be happy that I got to get this in time before it could really do some damage, and be careful next time. Savvy? All right.
Interesting. House one to hide. It was me thinking they were being real helpful.
And that's the thing with them. They can appear all healthful and we are building the future, but they're in fact all
To be
really
fair, Lorenzo, you
Yeah.
know that Corpse will probably do this bullshit even if they like you.
Yeah.
It's just Corpo being
I-
Corpo.
I they pay. I don't mind working for HB. They pay well. They pay well, but I don't trust them with an inch of my life.
It's more interesting that there's something they don't want us to find, maybe.
Who knows?
There's something you don't want. They don't want you to find specifically. They tagged you as a threat because of that. Regardless, it should be good now. I just want you to exercise more caution, especially when we're in that big glass whatever.
By the way, if anybody was jacked in like VR in the cyberscape, literally it would be Piper's avatar suddenly just pulling out this beam of light and throwing it over the neck of the
Hitman style Garrote.
I do like the virtual version of this. Weird thing is that nobody around you knows the awesomeness that just happened. You just, as far as they're concerned, it's just a guy in weird glasses who was stimming a bit.
Yeah.
One day
now.
You get off the tram. Where are you?
I think we were all heading to the strip, right?
Yeah.
We go to the Coroners first? Did we say we go there?
You can do the Coroners if you want. Yeah.
I don't mind.
I said that I can head to the Coroners while you guys check out Euphoria. I will take story liberty and say they're semi-close.
Okay.
Okay.
If that's okay, Simon?
You take what? Sorry.
If it's okay that
Story Liberty. I was like, who's Story Liberty? Yes, they are in the same district, and the trams are really fast. So yes.
Yeah.
Time is money here, and the transport system is top notch. So yeah, by all means, yeah. So I'll jump to Felicia first then. You go into the coroner's office. You've got medical credentials. You've been in these kind of places before. You sign yourself in, and you don't even see the receptionist, because receptionist is for the fucking Luddites. You're an actual medic. You get past that, and you end up just being approached by what is just a house officer, who says, "Can I help you?"
I'm here to see check in on my client's body.
Of course. Client name?
Lucy. Lucinda Mayo.
Lucinda Mayo. Oh. Right. Okay. Yeah. Come this way. And he takes you off to a side office, and says, Did you have a particular interest in the body by any chance?
She's an old friend, so I thought I would check it for her.
Okay.
And it's a favor,
I'm afraid that there's no body now to inspect. The dumpster that she was dumped in had some sort of terrible chemical in it. Actually injured the man who found her. Some sort of industrial waste, really nasty stuff.
Fascinating.
It was denaturing the body too quickly.
A sample of it?
Well, yes, and he gives you the chromatographic data, because you don't need an actual physical sample. He gives you the chromatographic data, and this is just, I'll say it's an acid. It's a type of acid that you've seen everywhere. Somebody hasn't disposed of it correctly. They just poured it into the dumpster. He said, she was covered in it. It started making the flesh a little bit nasty. But obviously,
Simon,
before we incinerate... Yeah, go on.
Would it be a lore or geography thing to figure out if there are any type of industrial things around where her body was found? To tell if this is very deliberate or maybe it's actually accidental because there's some shady bits around.
Either lore or geography would do it. Yeah.
Lore or geography. Sadness. I was hoping for society.
No, society is high society.
Yeah. Oh well. Okay. How many diffs?
Diff for this? 1. It's Googleable. Yeah.
Yeah. 2 success-free advantages.
Yeah, you know the area that she was in. As I said, it was found by a factory worker on the way to the factory. There are operators all over the place. Like, if all of a sudden they've got like a leaking tank of industrial waste on the back of their van, rather than dissolving the van pan that they might have to pay for, they'll just throw it into a dumpster or something like that. You've seen this shit before. You've seen kids who try to like see if there's anything that they can sell in a dumpster. And the kid's got like a mottled hand because they put their hand in and touched some waste. You've had to do some plastic work on the hand.
Okay.
So this doesn't surprise you. This type of shit goes on in the city. It sickens you, but it does happen.
Do you have your the photographies of when the body was brought in?
Oh, better than that, we managed to do the full scan, and he has a full CAT scan of the body. So you don't have the body itself, but you do have the CAT scan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was what I was after.
Yeah.
The wound where that she was supposedly killed by. You said it was a blast to the chest, energy?
Yeah, very high energy blast. Went straight through the bucky weave. And he brings it up, big hologram.
Yeah.
And
how big is is it like regular one, or is it actually like almost the entire rib cage, something really powerful?
It fucking roasted the rib cage. What it would have done is just blistered the skin. So you can see from the scan that the bucky weave ended up being like melted into the skin. The skin itself bubbled. It was really fucking nasty. It pretty much cooked her right to the heart. That amount of energy would have been delivered very quickly, but it would have been a very short, sharp pain. Would be the last thing that she would have done.
She died quickly, at least.
Yeah, she probably had about a second of absolute intense pain, but after that, it was done. You can see that it took one shot. One good shot. It took one shot.
Would I be able to figure out what type of gun could do this type of damage? Because I assume it wouldn't be a normal small energy gun. It has to be something a little bit more.
Yeah, absolutely. You can go for that. I'm going to flip another light side. I'm going to say that this is a low diff, but I'm going to increase its potential. So this is only going to be a diff 3. One of them is a red. I'm going to throw a black in there as well because you haven't got the body, you've only got the scan.
Yeah.
That's a medical check.
Medical?
Actually, medical. Yeah.
Oh.
Simon. You have a history of. It's in your backstory. You've got a history of healing lots of gun wounds.
Yes, and I have a knack for it.
In that case,
black.
Forget the black. Yeah. You're as accustomed to using these as you are having a body.
How much does it cost to get a tier 1 talent again?
5 XP.
Cool. Okay.
Which means at the end of this session, you probably will be able to get a knack for it. Yeah.
And Simon, now this isn't quite a thing, but combat medicine. Before making a medicine check, you can spend. You may spend 2 strain to add a success equal to the rank in combat medicine.
Because it has in the words combat medicine, yes.
I shall take 2 strain.
Yep. I'm going to say the strain in this case is the stress of having to, investigate
look
how
at
your
the dead
friend.
Body of my friend.
Yeah. There's a certain amount of this happened. This happened to her.
Mm-hmm.
Boom. Big bada boom.
That sure does it.
It was not a weapon that killed her.
Yeah.
This was a cutting laser that killed her.
Oh.
Getting some big mothership vibes of using the plasma cutter to kill a monster.
They are melee weapons in this though, isn't it? You can get a plasma cutter.
Yeah, this is a big thing. It looks like a chainsaw without a blade. Has a big kind of 3-panel emitter on the front, and you fire it at sheet steel, and by sheet steel I mean like the side of a spaceship, to cut it in half. For anybody who's watched me play Hard Space Shipbreaker, it's the
Yeah,
cutter.
I know exactly.
Yeah.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Except this was just set to a single beam, and they just blasted her in the chest with it.
It was
But
either what they. It was either the
Considering
only.
the area she was found in, we can possibly track down people who have access to cutting lasers.
Yeah, I
Oh,
was going to
potentially.
say it was, but also considering the like rudimentary use of like it's a tool, not a weapon, right? It can be used as a weapon, but it's mainly a tool.
It's mainly a tool, yeah.
Yeah,
Most people
it's-
wouldn't use it in a combat situation because it's not the type of thing where you can just go pew 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 pew. You have to wave this thing around to get everyone, which means you're as much of a danger to your friends as your enemies.
Yep.
So that means, for me, that means two things. It either means it was the only thing that they had to kill them, right? It was the only thing they had lying around, right? Or they really wanted her dead.
Good theories.
Yeah, it's some really good information. I will ask to have have a copy of the scan to check back on, and any notes that the coroner on staff when she was brought in might have written down.
Yep. I have extra for you because you triumphed.
That wasn't the triumph?
Oh, that was the triumph. But the triumph comes with all the bells and whistles. You do notice that there are inconsistencies. It's a bad CT scan. There's blurs on the cellular structure of her body.
Yeah.
You know that. You probably were around when Piper told Lorenzo that there was some redacting. When you see that, you go, "These guys are good. These guys are really good."
Yeah.
You see the other work that they do, and you go, "They wouldn't fuck up." I mean, it's not as if she was moving or anything. How did they fuck up? How did they blur it?
Hence, me asking for a copy, and I am gonna as soon as we meet up, I'm just gonna tell Piper to see if he can unfuck up the scan.
Yeah, I'm sure they will be able to do that. I mean, that's not necessarily hacking and things like that, but you can.
Piper probably has something in their like
Toolbox.
awful, yeah, like in their
Hard to
rig
zoom.
back at home.
Yeah.
That thing that has taken over their apartment that can probably do like photo
I'm sure
recreation.
something can be done. Yeah.
Yeah, so looking
They
at
are
them,
very
in
happy to
hand.
give you a copy of this file.
Oh yeah. And anything in the other doctor notes? I'm assuming nothing that I didn't figure out myself.
Other than they got it wrong, they think she was blasted by a laser assault rifle.
Interesting.
They mistook the what was clearly a cutting laser being moved slightly for the recoil.
Yeah, okay.
Interesting. Yeah.
I want to roll a spot. I know I'm not there yet, but
Yeah,
as soon
me
as I
either.
get a chance, I really want to roll a streetwise to see if I know if there's an MO of anybody at all. But we'll wait till that comes.
Oh yeah, I'm
It's
planning
the
on
person
bringing
who-
back info like, this is the one thing I do really, really good, and I'm gonna do it.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
you
so,
opened
yeah.
something up there. That
Yeah.
was yeah.
It's the MO of a person who thinks they're in a mothership game when they're in fact in a Shadow of the Beanstalk game.
Hey, the two best melee weapons are those things, man. They're insane. Also, the water cutter. That is the true.
Oh, death by
terrible.
water cutter. Oh no.
terrifying. Anyway.
Okay, so yeah, you dogleg out and meet back up with them, and where are you going? Other than the coroner.
Well, while I was at the coroner and probably inspecting, they were heading to Euphoria.
Euphoria. Okay. I see what you did there because you had a full. I see. Okay. Yeah. So Sure, you go up to Euphoria. Euphoria has this this very kind of sleek, reflective
worst case,
black
they can just blame
outside.
it on Lord.
Yeah. And yes, it's a beautiful, sleek, reflective black building that's surreptitiously out the way, and it has in a beautiful scroll work this flawless gold lettering Euphoria. Obviously, there are no windows looking inside. There's just a single beautiful black leather door. Yes, the outside of the door is leather, and it's got what seems to be gold handles. And
Wow.
standing outside is a very, very large-looking cyborg bouncer. And
Ostentatious.
I will definitely. I'd like to sort of before we get too close to our large friend. I guess I'll turn to Lord and be like, "How actually fucked up are you right now?"
Oh, I'm fine. I'm just a bit pissed. Anyway, give me a quick moment. I just as I'm talking, I pull out a little plastic baggie that I've probably reused,
Oh God.
and I take some of the pills in my hand and crush them up in my hand and just pour the powder into the bag. Like,
Can you
just
do
in
that
case.
like in a? Can you just do that
No,
like in an
can-
alley? Do you have to do it like out in the open?
I can work with.
I was
it.
like point over the drug shop. Like, everyone fucking minds around here, don't they? Yeah.
Other question, just for Paul. How famous is Lord? Like, actually, I know, like, are people actually recognizing him as we walk around? Or we just like
everybody's trying to be somebody in New Angeles.
Okay.
And basically, fans are like herds. They're like the rampaging herds throughout the city. Lord tries to collect as many as he can at any one point, but they are fickle. Yeah.
The point is, so famous enough, but he's not appearing on the coat anytime soon.
I was
Basically,
like,
yeah. Okay,
give
I
me a
got it.
moment to see if I can get into the place. I just start walking towards the door like I own the place. Like,
I'll fall in lockstep. I'll fall in lockstep. I'm the fixer, man. I'm I'll just fall into it. Yeah.
Yeah, I just start walking towards the door like I own the place. Like these are my entourage.
For this, I will allow either a leadership or a charm check as you
Yeah, I'm
walk
gonna be
straight up
charmed.
as if you own the place.
After you.
I will just quickly mention to Lord before I get like, if it goes to shit, just act fucked up.
I'm just like,
Much
hey,
more
darlings, yeah, like, hello,
If it goes to
darlings, I haven't
shit,
been
we
here in a
don't.
while.
All right.
Like, I just basically, charm was like, hey, I haven't been around here in a while, and I've got a meeting and that. Want to have a look at what you got? And just being very hyper and happy, and even trying to get the attention of people around me, even playing a bit of my guitar.
Yeah, yeah.
How
The
difficult-
bouncer smiles at you. You're clearly the type of clientele that you're supposed to have. I would like a that charm or leadership check, and the diff is only 2.
I would like to help for sure.
Okay. If you have any charm and Scorn
Oh, yes,
doesn't,
of course.
he can take your charm score. So
So I have 1 rank in charm and 3 in the stat.
okay.
I have 2 yellows and 1 green. So.
He's actually a higher charm than
You have
you.
a blue.
Yeah.
I have a blue then, I guess.
So you have a blue because basically the fixer walking behind you just gives you that air of entourage. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's just a blue. So 2 yellows, a green, and a blue versus 2 purple, and it's just to get the demeanor of the bouncer.
Yeah.
He absolutely accepts that you're the right kind of person to be here. Rich and shameless. It's written all the way through you.
You look okay. Get in.
He doesn't let you in. You said to him, your last thing you said to him was that it's been a while since I've been here. He said, you may have been a little bit distracted at the time. You do realise that there's a credit check of 12,000 to walk through the door, right?
Oh, I was like looking at it like, I didn't realize I had to bring cash on me when I walk around like that. But
Well, no,
basically,
it's not cash. It's a credit check, man. You know, all you have to do is just send me account details, and he pulls out what is effectively a contactless payment system. And he's looking at you and your entourage, and goes,
Piper is way behind. They're not walking in with them.
yeah.
They're
Yeah.
just like
I'm just
imagine
like-
they're like on a wall or a
I'll be
alley
honest.
nearby.
I'll be honest with you. I'm currently on a job for big,
Oh, there's Chris's
big,
squad.
big bio robots. You know that thing. So
Um,
I'm currently with them, and also I'm technically wanted to ask about less for myself. I'm supposed to be meeting with a person later, Maria Gibbs. I was planning to meet up with her. You ever heard of her?
Maria, yeah,
Yeah, so
Sure.
basically, I'm trying to find out if what you guys have got is any better than I just pull out the packet I've got. It's like, they haven't any of this shit, and I've got a maid that said that there's something good here, and I just wanted to find out what she had. Yeah, hope I'm not being a pain in the butt and all that, but yeah.
no, not at all, my friend, not at all. I mean, first of all, of course we got better than whatever the fuck that is, yeah? So, you know, and, you know, no offense, but unfortunately, it's my job if I can't get I see the runner going click 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 click.
Yeah, no. This is the funny thing. Piper is not walking in with them. They're
No.
just kind of like standing like in front of the place, but like not.
Yeah, just
near
chilling.
it.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, just chilling. And when they overhear, oh yeah, we need to do a check to see if you have enough money to enter. Like if you were near Piper, they just go, and they just put on the smart specs again.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Sure. So you're going to try to fake it up, aren't you?
I'm just gonna make it appear like they have like Folgo here has the money instead of
So,
yeah.
while they're obviously trying to hack that thing, I'm going to try to be a little bit less obvious and use my deep pockets and pull out my old, because you said that I've been to the club, that big famous club for like. And
the
I,
Deep
pull
Corners
out my
Club, yeah.
Yeah, I tool out my old invitation. It's like, yeah, I've got to go to this place, I think, again, and have a
No,
coffee with Maria.
it wasn't
And I'm
that
just trying
place,
to-
Simon. It
Yeah, I'm
was
just
the
trying
other
to
one.
distract-
The Paragon Club. Oh,
Yeah.
You pull out an old invitation to the Paragon Club and goes, yeah, and if you say, oh, I'm going back there, he kind of he's nodding and all the rest of it. You've got this guy on the friendly, yeah.
Yeah.
He wants to let you in.
So yeah, I'm basically at the moment
bear in
trying
mind,
to cause a
he's got big
distraction.
arms for a reason. It's the same reason why we keep joking about Floyd. But this guy could be, if he thought that you weren't the right clientele, he would have already shooed
be
you away
like-
long ago.
Yeah. So
You know-
basically, what I'm trying to do is just cause a distraction and make it so that a hacker's long enough to get this done without being noticed.
Absolutely, you're doing an assist. Yeah, absolutely.
Cool, awesome. Thanks.
Okay. In that case, for faking up that somebody has a 12,000 credit check.
Yeah, this. I'm not gonna put money into their account. It's just when they look at the account, they see 12,000 instead of negative 50.
Yeah, as long as he doesn't try spending any of it, this will be okay.
Yeah.
I don't
Because
say that
it's only
not-
an illusion. It's only, it probably has 12,000 in there, but don't try getting any. I'm going to say that's a diff 3 hack. Actually, you're getting an assist, so I won't give you
blue,
any
right?
setback. I'll just let you have the blue. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's going to be 3 purples, right?
3 purples, yeah. And
Okay.
but nothing else.
Okay, cool. Oh my
Okay.
god, are you serious? Can I use strain to reroll
Now
that?
you can use strain. Now is the
Okay.
time.
Give me a moment. There we go.
Yeah.
So same roll.
And the strain for you is just it's blowing your mind because you have to do this so quickly, because it's in the
Yeah,
whilst
like
they're having the
you
conversation.
really put me on the spot. I am going to chew Folgo out later.
Cards, it's slow motion. The cards going into a little swiper.
Okay, I'll take that.
Yes.
Yeah, just trying to cause as much distraction delay as possible.
Yeah, and presumably you send a done message or something like that to.
Yeah, I message Lorenzo
Yeah.
because I know that getting Folgo with his fucking
I just give Fogger a kick
Ancient.
in the shins, basically.
Yeah.
Little kick in the shins to say just do it, and you tentatively put out the card, and the bouncer has a smile all over his face, and he's just kind of like, poor bastard, he's so wasted. He's kind of giving you the same pity you'd give Ozzy, yeah. And he's kind of like, I took him so long to figure out what was his card, kind of thing.
I basically return the same look to the bouncer, being like, yeah, you're not babysitting him.
Yeah, yeah. He kind of gives you what looks like a professional nod, but is actually a nod of sympathy. And he goes, there you go, mate.
Oh,
You know, pats you with this very large metal hand that could easily tear your shoulder off. Pats you on the shoulder, and goes, there we go, we got there in the end. Anyway,
sorry, I don't know any of this new technology stuff. I just walk in and usually people pay for me.
this new technology stuff, you know,
Bro,
contactless payment that's been around for 300 years.
Exactly.
You get ushered inside. Both you and your... they will allow, because of the social roles, ordinarily you would only be allowed in yourself, but because of the social roles, they will even let your man in with you. And with that, we're going to end the session because it is now 11 o'clock. As you successfully manage to get into Euphoria, and then we're going to see how it goes in there.
I'm watching this like a train wreck. I'm basically stood here, like Paul is stood here, almost like ready to catch. Like, so far it's all good, but I'm more than happy to. I'm just like, yep, please.
Lagging it until you make it.
Lorenzo, it's like hand in the pocket, clutching the sand, you know, like for when it's necessary.
Just like name dropping, pulling out the cards, like just trying to throw as much I'm big as possible.
I love writing these kind of murder mystery gumshoe things. Anyway, this is a shameless copy of Dead Trigger. It's got my own twist on it, of course. I'm not going to just rewrite Dead Trigger, but the whole kind of, I need you to solve a murder. My murder. It's past that point, it's a completely different story. But, of course, it's the tip of the hat to Dead Trigger, which is a Shadowrun story. Nice. And I think it's the first time that I've had pre-printed 9 pages worth of notes for continuity to make sure that you have all the bits and pieces that you need. So, big thank you to you all. We will be back next Thursday, same time, to plough into this. At the end of the 4th session, around about 10 minutes before, regardless of how far you get, because after that I'm handing over to Dave, I will be asking you what you think happened. You've made some success already, and I will basically there are tiers of success on this, and then I will give you the epilogue of what happens to you as a result of the result that you do, because you'll all be pulled into the boardroom and told, tell us what happened. Fantastic. A big thank you to everyone in chat as well. See, we've had a good amount of viewers as well follow us along. I hope you enjoyed it as much as we did. If you're interested in any of the Android universe, obviously you've got Netrunner, you've got the Android board game. If you really want to spend a lot of time setting up a board game,
a better Android board game I think will be New Angeles. Sadly, I think it's out of print.
A lot of them are out of print now. I've got Infiltration, which is another game by them, and it's just generally a really cool setting.
It's really cool.
Yeah, and unfortunately, it's had its heyday, but I'm going to keep it alive. We're going to keep it alive.
Goddammit.
Yeah.
I mean, if fans are keeping Netrunner alive after Wizards of the Coast killed it, hey, right?
Yeah. Well, I also have over on the chair that I've got Cyberpunk Red, and I have Carbon 2150. So I will be getting my whole Cyberpunk need out. But
please, I already started making characters for Cyberpunk Red.
Yeah. So I'm going to do.
I would not mind playing a shooting person at some point.
Don't worry, there is a shooty thing for both this and Cyberpunk as well. So I'm going to do probably 2 or 3 adventures of this. So this is the first one, which is the Gumshoe version of events. The next one I think I've already told Rodrigo about, and the next one is going to be called Proactive Privacy, where a group is contracted to get back a very sensitive file that was accidentally hacked out of somebody's possession, and they need it back.
Oh no, the CEO's nudes got leaked. We need to get those back.
Yep.
Clownology, that's the file. So
I'll get them back. Photoshop them to make them look good.
And then the third one is you start off in the shit and need to get yourself out of it.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Don't spoil too much now because so far this has been a lot of fun. I really enjoyed
It
this.
has. It has been a lot of fun. I'm very happy to be playing another game.
Yeah, same.
And then after doing those 3 adventures, I will be moving on to Cyberpunk Red. Cyberpunk Red has a slightly different feel to New Angeles, so I'm trying to be very balanced as the different flavors of Cyberpunk. There are different flavors of Cyberpunk.
Yeah, this is less cyber, more punk.
Yeah, I'd go with that. Yeah. Where Cyberpunk is it is the definitive Cyberpunk, and then Shadowrun is just it's a whole new genre, but unfortunately it's just so complex to run.
I don't want.
You can't just pick it up and put it down. I love playing it. I just can't run it. Yeah.
I don't want to approach that thing even with a hazmat suit. I do not.
But when you're playing it, it's so rewarding. But we do actually have somebody who runs a Shadowrun game in the community. So
is it Dave?
It's TTIO.
Okay, I thought it was Dave simply because that sounds
no,
so up
Dave
his
is
alley.
with me on camp. No, I mean bear in mind he's got a PhD in Mage the Ascension, and you need one.
If he can run Mage, one would think him capable of running Shadowrun. But then again, maybe it's the whole thing of only being able to do one of those really large games.
Yeah,
fair enough. I only run Blades, and that doesn't require that much brain power, so that's why I keep with it.
Again, it's why I find Genesys and Cyberpunk Red, to be fair, very accessible. Cyberpunk Red, it's like roll a d10, really? Add some stuff. That's your result. Keep going. This is a bit more mechanics,
my dad
but it's story-based
started playing another game recently, a new role-playing game, and apparently that is also d10s for everything except for very specific roles where it's d6s. Yeah.
We're doing quite a few system-like games soon, because once I've managed to scratch and satisfy this cyberpunk itch, I will be calm enough to be able to go into Versen with a clear mind, without any agenda to do anything else. And that's what I'm doing. I'm burning this out of my system so that then I can go, right, Versen, and I'm going to go just completely into it.
Anyways.
And me and Corinne are going to be there correcting your pronunciation every single time.
Hey, I can say the title of the game now.
That's pronouncing worse every time.
You're close. Yeah. You're close.
Hey, I'm getting the air bit right now. So, yeah.
That's fine. Thanks again, everyone, for watching.
Yeah.
This was a lot of fun. I can't wait for the next session. And I don't know, are we rating someone?
I'll rate someone quickly. And if you've got any theories or wild speculations, feel free to throw those into the Discord. If you
turns out that Lucy was just really drunk and was messing with some equipment.
I'm not surprised you managed to do that, Scorm.
Yeah,
I really am not.
Yeah, me either.
Considering I accidentally accessed the teacher's part of the school internet at one point.
Yeah, I had access to everything because basically I just save a file.
Yeah,
we'll leave this conversation for later. We're going to raid. Stick around, and if you're not already in our Discord and you've just been lurking and things, come and say hello to us. The link is down in the channel notes. Good night.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.